Welcome back to Nerdrotic. My name is Gary Beekler, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com, and I am live in San Francisco, California, and this is Friday Night Tights on a Saturday night for 2 Saturdays in a row. Circumstances have kept us from being live on Friday. It will be back to normal next week, but I am joined again by my good friend, Comics Division, in Parts Unknown. What's up, man?
What's up, everybody? How you doing?
I am great. Everybody looks great in the chat. Everybody jalojed before they started the live stream. I jalojed, you jalojed.
I totally did.
Oh, good eye from Australia, Anakin64. And we have Ian Moon and 80s nostalgic guy and Stephen Murdoch and Nuke Levy, Rome Hater, Dark Anubis, Solving Forex, Montana Horseman, Tommelfinger. What's up, Tommelfinger? Good to see you. Mary Ashmead and a wrench, Penn Farm Girl and a wrench. I'm sure there's some other wrenches in there. Chad Nielsen, Static MM. My good friend Jay Trussell is probably out there, who's co-hosted the show a couple times. I'm sure he's listening. What's up, Jay? I'm going to read what he has to say about Captain Marvel later. I miss Gary the Goat from Australia. Okay, stick finger. And hello, Wonder Girl 60. What's up? So it's the 50K celebration. And as much as I would just like to talk about happy joy stuff tonight, it's unavoidable that the Captain Marvel conversation is going to come up. And first we need to thank somebody, don't we, Comics Division?
We certainly do. Huge shout out to Dave Cullen for mentioning us in his video talking about Captain Marvel. And that was awesome. So Dave, if you're watching, dude, thanks a lot. I really appreciate the shout out. I used to watch you back in the day. I still watch you. Love your content, man.
Yes, Dave Cullen shouted us out again. That was an honor, and it was nice to hear it, and it's nice to hear that he watches, and I definitely have been watching him. Actually, Comics Division and I were discussing, like, he was one of the earlier people I was watching on YouTube. So definitely a trusted voice on this platform, to me. So yeah, definitely, if you haven't subscribed, he's a big old ginge, and yeah, I can't miss his red hair. So, but no ginger side. So thank you, everybody. Yes, we made it to 50,000 subscribers. That is unbelievable, considering on November 19th is kind of when this ball started rolling here. And unfortunately, it was when the great Stan Lee passed away. I was doing a live stream at the time. We had a lot of people watching, but since then things have been just cruising, and it seems like so long ago, but it's really not that long ago. And definitely hail Dave, everybody. And Anti-Trekker is in the chat. What is up, Anti-Trekker? That's another great YouTuber right there. What's up, buddy? So yeah, I'm actually, we're at 51K. Thank you so much, everybody. Tasmania, what's up, Tasmanian? Who's in from Tasmania here? We got New Zealand in the house. I'm sure we've got the whole entire world. It's great. Do we have anybody in Italy? I'm just kind of wondering, because I'm going to be there in about 3 weeks.
Oh, damn. That's awesome.
Yeah. Dave Cullen for the new Doctor. The Doctor needs to be a ginge. That's right. That is right.
That would be awesome.
So, yes, of course, we're going to talk about Captain Marvel. I want to see, I'm sure more people have seen the film. Obviously, it's doing very well this weekend. That's to be expected. It's the way they set it up. It's in between two of the biggest, what will be two of the biggest MCU movies ever. And they set it up like Black Panther, although they're not going to have the same result as Black Panther. I predict a major drop next week. And Rotten Tomatoes has been doing some effery, we'll say, to put it lightly.
Yeah, I got screenshots of what it was earlier when it was in the 30s, and now it's like at 56%.
So here's the explanation I heard, and it sounded like a good explanation. And this actually came from one of our patrons, who's a good person and not like a very, just a very a neutral good person. I'll say that. I don't want to shout him out so he doesn't get any flack. But he pointed out that the reason it was adjusted because they removed the indicator comments. So the want to see and the percentage from the I want to see or I'm not interested.
Yeah, I heard two explanations. I heard that, and I also heard that they were purging bot posts, which makes sense.
That makes sense too. And but 20%. But here I got a screenshot I would like to share of why the removing of the not interested stuff is BS. Because I've been working on a Doctor Who Rotten Tomato, like my final Doctor Who Rotten Tomatoes video for a while now, because I'm trying to actually count votes and it takes a while. So here's a screenshot of that, and you can see they mix in the not interested with with the actual votes. So this is like deep, like pages. Nobody would bother clicking in the amount of pages I clicked in to find this. We're talking like 100 something pages in. So that's not the case. That is clearly not the case. So it's probably just a bot purge, which they do. But 54,000 bots.
That seems rather excessive to me.
That does.
And I have seen comments from people saying, "Why do you keep deleting my post?" Oh, I have seen that in there.
They deleted mine too.
I tried posting my review, and I couldn't submit it.
So here's what I say to that. Rotten Tomatoes, if they do not value your opinion, then it is very, very easy to delete your account.
Yeah.
I could show you right now. Would you guys like to see how to delete your account on Rotten Tomatoes? It's pretty easy.
Go for it. Yeah, it is super easy. I saw when you go like edit your profile.
Yeah, you go to your account up on the top right. Let me share this for you. And this is just, hey, if they don't value your opinion, then they shouldn't have. They should lose the privilege of your data that they must sell, right?
Well, and honestly, anything on the internet, when you try and delete it, it's never truly deleted. So you're just deactivating your account, quote unquote.
So you go to the right, you see the account right there. It opens up right there. Boom, delete your account. Now, whether it actually gets deleted or not, that's a good question. And I'm not going to delete my account now, but that's an option. I think they've had record traffic over the last couple weeks, obviously, so they've made a lot of money off this. And then to delete your reviews. Now, of course, if it's a review that's laced with profanity and, you can tell that the person didn't see the movie, that whatever. But, mine got deleted, and it was because of nothing. I mentioned parts in the movie, and I even did what the quartering said to do, which, do what you want. But I did a 1.5 star, and I gave a couple of, a couple of goods in the movie, a couple of bad, and then it was gone. Poof. So that's how you want to do things, Rotten Tomato. You can try to silence people as much as you want. It's like a hydra. You're going to cut one head off, it's going to grow somewhere else. It's not going to go away. So maybe the powers that be should possibly think about why there's such a backlash comics division, because they haven't considered that once. It hasn't even crossed their mind why there's a backlash. They just want to put they want to do the troll maneuver, which is what the Access Media has been laying out this plan, whether because they colluded on it. I doubt it. It's just they're all on the same side. They're trying to protect their access. So they were moving full steam ahead on calling everybody who criticized this film a troll. Every single person who criticizes this film is a troll. And now that's the perception to some people out there. What we have to do is continue fighting back and going, no, We're not trolls. We don't care if a female's starring in this movie. We just don't want. That's the thing, is if we're going to have a female-led movie, it is perfectly okay to criticize her if she sucks.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's the thing that really irritates me. First off, obviously the reason why they're using troll now is because Nazis and alt-right have been overused at this point. So they had to find a new way of dismissing people's opinions, and this is the new thing. It's trolls. People are trolling. Everybody knows what a fucking troll is. So it's easier just to label people as trolls rather than alt-right Nazis, and you can simply dismiss their opinions that way. And I had another point, but I forgot it.
That's all right. Yeah, EVS and the Quartering both had a video where they showed the positive trolls, which they are. They had people copy and pasting the same review over and over again. The DJD show gave me a screenshot that I'm actually planning on using in my next video, but I'll just tell you right now of on Doctor Who, where somebody just hit 5 stars and their name was there like 37 times, and Rotten Tomatoes just let that stay.
Of course, man. They're not gonna.
Yeah.
They're not going to remove positive review bombing or positive bots or people copying and pasting stuff. They're not going to get rid of that stuff.
No. And what's up, Loquacious Primate and Mary Highland? How are you doing? They're going to continue to let this go, and we are going to have to just keep doing what we're doing, and it's going to go on and on and on, and maybe someday we'll have a conversation of, hey, maybe if we had just, I don't know, made a Captain Marvel movie in the style of Guardians of the Galaxy. We put some fun music in it. We pine more off of Jim Starlin. We take the Jim Starlin world, you know, his versions of Captain Marvel, a little bit of his Warlock stuff. Mix in some Thanos mythos in this. Why not? You put in the Kree Skrull War, and you want to let's use it as a Orange Man allegory and immigration instead of possibly, I don't know, just making it the war, which you could still mix in allegory, but give us the actual war first. Show us, I don't know, show us a Marvel Galactic newsreel version. Do something to make this movie fun. Do something to make Brie fun. The thing is, they're writing this on such a comic book level, and they're doing this on such a basic level that they think that being that presenting a strong female, and this is only happening in certain properties, by the way. There are very good, well represented females, and listen, most stuff. Okay, like The Expanse is a great example.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Umbrella Academy. Who did I hear somebody talking about? I think it was Rob today on Midnight's Edge was talking about Aubrey Plaza. Aubrey Plaza is a perfect example of a female who was playing a role that was written for a man. Okay, Lenny was supposed to be a 50-something-year-old man in the TV show Legion. They decided to put her in the part. She plays it perfectly, brilliantly, with no agenda. She's just there, and that's why it's a good show. Too bad it's leaving, and it's probably one of the best X-Men things Fox has done. They could have done that, and they would have no problem right now. And you know what? How much money you're making right now, Disney? You would have made more. You would have made more. This would have been a record-breaking film.
Yeah, of course, they chose agenda over storytelling. And now I remember my other point I was going to make was about the access or shield media. The whole narrative around, oh, you just don't like a strong woman in a movie. It's like bullshit. We've named several movies that have strong women. There's plenty of good movies out there that have strong female characters in them that nobody complains about. And if people do complain about, we don't necessarily care about their opinions, right? I mean, it's few and far between. But when you have something that's pushing an agenda like Captain Marvel, and God forbid the plebs speak out about it, they have to be smashed down. They have to be crushed. They have to be labeled with dehumanizing language to get the normies to think, oh wow, all these bad people, they're saying all these terrible things about this movie. That's so unfair. And that's the reason why they do that, is mainly we need to win the hearts and minds of the normies, because that's what they're trying to do.
And that'll come around. I mean, this is something that takes time, obviously.
Yes, absolutely. So
I was asked today, just forget the agenda part of the movie. Did I like the other stuff? And no, I mean, it's a very meh movie. It's not a good film. You know what? Keep the damn agenda stuff in there. It's still not a good film. It was poorly directed. It was poorly performed by most actors. And you and I pointed out that the second best performance is by Akira Akbar, who is the 12-year-old girl. I'd much rather have her suit up right now as Captain Marvel, and I'd watch her. The cat was overrated as hell. I
completely agree, dude. That shit pissed me off.
Yeah, it's like it was the cat. I'm like, whatever. Tabitha's cooler. Tabitha, the cat that's in Comics Division's office right now, or did you let her out?
No, she's still in my office. She's lying on my desk right now.
Oh, hi, Tabitha. So real quick, let's get to some super chats. Mary Freeman gives us $2 with no comment, but thank you, Mary. How you doing? Welcome. Welcome. Matt Baldwin, $5. Fort Knox must be jealous of the projection that Captain Marvel is getting. They must be. And it looks like it's going to get, well, I got 64 million Friday. It got 24 million. So it's already 80 million. So yeah, it's going to get 150 million. It probably will. Problem is next weekend is probably going to get like 70. So yeah, it'll be 50%. But listen, that's what they wanted. They didn't need this thing to be blockbuster over time. They needed to get as much money as they could up front because listen, the MCU's got so much goodwill. It doesn't matter. We've even said this on the podcast. It could put out a turd and people will watch it. Well, it did. And people are going to watch it. I was in a comic store today, which kind of inspired the title. I was in the one that's on the picture of the thumbnail, getting a big stack of books for 25 to 50% off for my kid. And they were in there, and the people behind the counter, like in a comic store that's closing, we're talking about how much they love Captain Marvel. And EVS pointed this out, so I want to give them full credit.
They're talking about how much they love the movie.
Yeah, and then there's a big Captain Marvel poster in the front window. And listen, Christian, who runs the store, is a great guy, and like they're probably not part of this, so I don't mean to like call them out or anything, but
people are allowed to like it. You know, that's the main thing that I think is pretty funny. You are allowed to have a different opinion than I do. If you love the movie, great. We're just going to disagree on that. No big deal.
Yeah. That's not what this is about. This isn't about people who like the movie. I mean, if you like the movie, rock on. I have no problem with that. And I say the same about Star Trek Discovery and everything else. This is about a much bigger picture, a much bigger battle with hearts and minds. And really, even if you love this movie, you can't, I honestly can't think of anybody calling, even the people who like the movie are not calling this top 10 MCU. No. I think objectively, I think the current Rotten Tomatoes score is probably pretty accurate, 52%. I would agree with that. I think honestly 37%, and even with Doctor Who, even with 27%, that is more of a reaction to the critics. What that guy was, that's the one thing I will agree with the person on Sci-Fi Wire said, the people coming in are trying to balance out the shill critics. Now, he followed that up by saying, well, we're not shills, but you are.
but you are.
Yeah. So yes,
I'm not saying we're shills, but we're shills.
There's a balancing act there. And the thing I've always said on Rotten Tomatoes is most scores for films should be between 40 and 60%. If you're a real objective critic, because people don't agree on stuff that much. And it was remember when Spider-Man 2 was in the 90s for Rotten Tomatoes, it was like incredible. It was 92% for it was incredible. It was rare and it was incredible. Mm-hmm. It's rare when it gets that high, but now it's Marvel, it's a regular thing. And let's be honest. Let's think about how good Marvel's been since 2014. Like how many great movies have they come out? Because 2014 was Guardians of the Galaxy and Winter Soldier, arguably their best year. I mean, those are two.
Yeah, I think with the exception of Infinity War, that was kind of their peak, in my opinion.
Civil War has a good battle, but there's like tons of logic problems with that movie. And actually, I was loving it. This is the greatest MCU movie I ever saw. And then, I've gone back and rewatched it, and it's like, it makes no sense.
No, Civil War, yeah.
Civil War, the plan is just
the only one that's still a fun movie. I mean, that's the thing. Yeah. You can still enjoy a movie that has bad ideas in it. It's like, I enjoyed watching Suicide Squad, even though that movie's terrible. I mean, just like plot-wise, villain because reasons, that's the thing I really hate about that movie was like, I want to destroy the world because reasons. There's no actual good reason. It's just like this thing happened. No justification, really.
Yeah. It's got a good first 15 minutes. It's got some good, that's it. But let me get to super chats and I'll get more to it.
Sure.
Nicholas Glenn, $4.99. It's my 40th birthday. Sent you an email on the comic books, which I did get. That would be a good birthday response. LOL. Keep up the great work, Gary. Thank you, Nicholas. Thank you. I will respond to you. Anti-Trekker, $5. While I may disagree with you on the finer points of Captain Marvel, well, we already disagree right there because there's no finer points of Captain Marvel, Anti-Trekker. What RT is doing is beyond evil. There are legit gripes on Captain Marvel, and to deny that is stupid. Yeah. Listen, I hold the MCU to a higher standard, and then while the agenda could have been worse, it was actually, I would have respected it more if they have weaved it into the storyline in a much more intelligent way, which they could have done.
They could have, but they chose not to.
No, they chose not to, and they get what they get. That's why I'm probably being a little harder on it, because I expect more. The MCU, what Captain Marvel was a 2004 superhero movie. So if it came out in 2004, it probably would have been okay. But it's not 2004, and this is the 21st movie of the MCU.
Did you see Chris Stuckman's review on it?
No, I didn't. I heard it. I heard part of it, but I didn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I saw it the other day, and he was pretty spot on with a lot of stuff. It really did feel more like a Phase 1 movie. That he pointed it out. It's like, okay, I totally see that now. But it truly was all over the place in certain areas. So.
But there's something you got to look back on Phase 1, because it's not Disney, and it was they had a lot more. Perlmutter gets a lot of criticisms, but they were allowed to do what they wanted to do within their budget, as long as they stayed with their budget. Their budget was what hamstrung them on a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. But don't forget, kids, that Disney popped on after the Avengers. So
is that when that happened?
Yep. The Avengers was in production. Disney started producing stuff.
Is that when they bought?
It's still a Paramount film.
Oh, is that when they bought Marvel, or
they bought Marvel in 2009, but it was still a joint production with Paramount.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then it started moving into having the Disney moniker and them taking over and stuff. And Kevin Feige took over.
2009, I was out of comics. I wasn't collecting anything.
And there was a big brouhaha between Perlmutter and Kevin Feige, and Kevin Feige won, which is saying that, well, it is. Perlmutter is yeah. He doesn't even like having his picture taken. He's kind of weird. Okay, so Juan Wong, sorry, Australian $5 if I screwed that up. I have a problem with Danvers' call sign. Go watch Funny How Pilots Get Their Call Sign. How did she earn the call sign? Iron Eagle 5, The Revenge?
Yeah, I know something a little bit about that too. Typically, when you cock something up, that usually leads to you getting your call sign because you've done something stupid, or you say something stupid. It's usually a joke. It's not anything really cool.
Well, in a very circular, weird way, it makes sense now, because her having that call sign is stupid and a joke. So there you go. An only twin, Australian $5. So what is a good review site? I go to Metacritic. User score Captain Marvel is 3.110. Metacritic is probably the best one right now.
Yeah.
Now, as far as where people go, and you want to hear what the audience thinks, I don't know. I think it's probably a good time for somebody to make one. This might be, you can fill a need. We're seeing that more and more. I've put the call out a lot that we need more writers to break the narrative. Actually, I got like 6 emails from people who work at websites who will not be disclosed, but saying, hey, I'm not part of this. I totally disagree with this crap. I like what you're doing, but there's only so much we can do. And I totally understand that, hashtag not all, but
yeah. And I'm sure they also want to keep their jobs too. So that's pretty tough, man. That's a pretty tough situation when being put into something like that, where, you have people with agendas, a company, your boss, whatever, but you don't necessarily agree with it. You kind of do have to stay silent, or you risk unemployment.
Yeah, absolutely. 80s nostalgia guy, $2. I'm American, but join Brazil in boycotting SJW. Is Brazil boycotting it? Which is, I think it fills my heart full of joy when I hear that China doesn't fall for this crap or doesn't like this crap.
Yeah.
I like, That
China's got its own human rights issues,
well,
you know,
yes,
with the
they
whole
do.
social credit
Oh,
thing.
most
But
certainly.
at least they're fighting back.
At least
against
there's
that.
this one thing, because I mean, if there's this one thing they're fighting against, then maybe there'll be others. I mean, well, we could that'd be a whole political discussion that I don't want to get into, but I'm just happy that's good to hear. Adjacent culture, 4.99 pounds. Is that 4 pounds 99 pence? Am I getting that right? They're disabling every fan pressure valve while will eventually blow up in their faces. Also, Mark Hamill totally trolling what FLL again today. It's hilarious. I can't figure out. At times, I think I figure out Mark Hamill, and then there's times I don't.
Yeah, I know, dude.
Here's how I see him. He's probably a classic liberal. There's probably some stuff he totally disagrees with the fandom on, but then he puts out a hashtag Star Wars is for everyone, and I mean, there could be the face value meaning or below that. I don't know.
I don't know, man. He posts some really SJW stuff sometimes,
he does,
though.
But I mean, he's an actor. I mean, and that's what I hear a lot, and I 100% agree with this criticism, especially about Brie Larson. Is like she's no crazier than most actors in Hollywood, and I totally agree. But most of them know when to shut the frack up when they're promoting their movie, and it's just. I don't want
Tom Arnold. That dude's just fucking woo. He's out there, man.
Yeah, I mean, he used to be a big Republican too, which is weird.
Maybe he did a lot of crack or something. I don't know.
I think he might. Well, maybe he's back on the stuff again. I hope not. I mean, listen, I hope not. I know he's had a lot of problems with that stuff. I just hope he's sober, but it doesn't sound like it. Okay. Spider Extra. Okay. Spider Extreme Gamer. There, I got it. 2 R's, whatever that is, what that's from. Legion is so good. I really wish it wouldn't end. Oh my God, Legion is the best show. I fucking love that show. Damn it, I cussed. Dang it. Yeah, swear jar. My swear jars.
Are you trying to keep the potty mouth to a minimum these days?
Yeah, well, actually, it was something Mrs. Nerdrotic asked me to do that since more people are watching. Okay. It's just hard because it's like so second nature to me. Like when I'm not on the air, F word is my every other word.
I hear you. I'm there.
I was raised by wolves on the street. So, and my swear jar's over there, but it's the Infinity Gauntlet Bank. Peter Davison, Australian, $10. Getting mother to read Dan Brown's Origin. Watching now through the only myself has seen Captain Marvel. I don't know about Origin. Was that I know there was the TV show that I kind of covered. So have you seen Captain Marvel, or are you watching Captain Marvel? And say hello to Mrs. Davidson, Peter Davidson. It's good. His mom is 86 and she lives in Australia. I
love this dude. The 51st Project is saying, is the F word feminism?
It is. Oh man, this is, and also, you know what? Here's before I get to the super chat. Here's the biggest bummer about it, and this is why I lay this at the feet of Kevin Feige and MCU and Disney. I used to look forward to going to the MCU thing was an event. It's like one of the rare times I go out with my friends and we get tickets in advance and we hang out at the movie. And this one was weird. It admittedly got weird. I wasn't looking forward to seeing it. I was prepared for the cringe, and they all know how I feel about it. And there were some people from Lucasfilm there. So it made it for an awkward night. We'll just say that. But we got through it. Everybody was fine. And most people didn't like it. Even the people who worked at Lucasfilm. So
didn't like Captain Marvel?
Didn't like the movie. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yep. So
I would be curious to see how they actually feel about The Last Jedi.
I went to that one by myself. I should have asked them though. I went to that one. We only do Marvel movies because they're usually the slam dunk, and this one was not so far from a slam dunk.
No,
it was a whiff. Ian, oh boy, Batterchury. Okay, Battacharjee. I'm just gonna say Ian. How's it going? Thank you for the what is that? 100, is that yen? I don't know what that is. I'm gonna have to look at that up. For $100, we'll just say, what if Captain Marvel is the surprise villain of Endgame? That would be brilliant. What if Captain Marvel is OP'd to be the big daddy who wants to purge all the other heroes of after getting the gauntlet? You know, in a weird parody way, the movie almost played out like that, Anne. And that would be funny. We of course know that's not good. The joke's on us.
Mhm.
This is the for those of you who think there is another ending shot out there, there is not.
Oh, really?
There is no.
Oh,
Well, there is
man.
not. There is not. This is the way they're going. Steadfast.
Well, yeah, considering there's that article I sent you
Yep.
from with the interview
That's what
Kevin
convinced
Feige.
me.
Yeah.
I'm like, there is no other ending. And we'll share that in a second. Thank you, Ann. Derek Taylor, $10. What do you think of Captain Marvel going towards $350 million this weekend worldwide? I think it could. Absolutely. I'll give you guys an example of a movie that did really well and is completely forgotten now. And this is just off the top of my head. Alice in Wonderland, 2010. I know it's not an MCU movie, but it made $1 billion in 2010. It had a $116 million opening weekend in March. And it did get a sequel.
Yeah, as I said, didn't they do a sequel that seemed like it didn't do nearly as well?
So it did really well internationally. It did pretty damn well in the States. And if you ask everybody right now, if you ask people then, they're probably, oh, it's pretty good. It was pretty good. Time passes. You ask people what they thought of it now. That thing sucks. It's terrible. If you go to the Rotten Tomatoes, and it's pretty even. The critics were 51%. The audience was 55%. That's when things were accurate.
Mm-hmm.
What's the only difference in this? Agenda and the MCU. So it's got the goodwill.
Yeah.
And yeah, it definitely does balance each other out. And that's why I think 52% is a pretty accurate audience score. It just sucks that this led into Endgame and where's Fury?
Where's Fury?
Where's Fury?
Oh my God. Where's Fury? I broke a nail getting here.
Ty Timmons, $5. I'm so glad Stan Lee is not around to see this abomination with Brie Larson.
Oh my God, you're
obvious
right.
SJW hijacking attempt. No attempt here. It has been done.
Yeah.
The MCU, thanks for the videos. Thank you, Ty. And I'm sorry too. I'm sorry we have to talk about this. I'm sorry it's brought in, but this is a reaction, folks. That everybody's, of course, anything negative with this movie is now going to be blamed on the trolls, which is us. We're trolls. Basically. You're a troll trolls in the chat. You're a troll.
Man babies. Don't forget, we're also man babies.
Yep. Now, Tabitha the cat is a troll.
Mm-hmm.
Your dog in the office, troll, because they're next to you. Because association, you're a troll because you criticize this movie, and you can't criticize a female, apparently. Nope. So there you go. Mary Freeman, $5. Thank you for the introduction to The Expanse. I am addicted. Oh, Mary, you are so welcome. Everybody, watch The Expanse. It is the best science fiction show on television. Yes, even better than The Orville, and I love The Orville. I do. Yes. But The Expanse is better. It is Game of Thrones in space. And it's one of those things, well, it's a shining example of everything we like in entertainment. It is just a TV show trying to entertain us. And it just so happens to have a pretty damn diverse cast.
Exactly.
Some great female characters. But like the one thing I am done doing, Comics Division, I'm done going, well, of course I like female characters. Buffy's my favorite show, which Buffy is one of my all-time favorite shows. I'm done saying that shit because I don't need to say it. I don't need to prove it to anybody.
I agree, man. It's like it's like if you want to call me a man baby or sexist or racist, ahead. It's like go ahead. I don't fucking care, dude. Your shit doesn't affect me.
No, and when we're on the defense and doing the qualifiers, we're on the defense, and I'm no longer beyond the fence. I mean, there's a gazillion things I could point out, and you can too, and everybody in the chat. All you
have to say is prove it.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's all I hired at my comic store was white males. Oh wait, no, not true. Derek Taylor, $5. Cinema Score has Captain Marvel at an A.
A for
And,
anus.
yes. Abomination
Abomination.
anus. Seeing Red, yes. Canadian $5. Kevin Feige is basically a Hydra agent, just now showing his real colors with Captain Marvel. It's Kevin Feige just Hail Hydra'd us. Big. Oh, that should be the name of my
He
video.
really did. Yeah, he did.
That is brilliant.
He Hail Hydra'd us. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's going to be my thumbnail. I'm going to change it after the show. Seeing Red, I'm going to give you full credit.
Yeah.
I'm going to have Kevin Feige going, Hail Hydra. Dan Heiss for $5 started Expanse and Doom Patrol after you talked about him. Couldn't get into Expanse, but really liked Doom Patrol. Well, I mean, you should really give the Expanse a chance. It's really great. Doom Patrol is a lot of fun. I like it a lot. It's really weird, in all the good ways. And it's not doing any agenda. It'll like lightly throw something in, but it's not that big a deal. And that's pretty much all I'm asking. I don't want to speak for everybody, but yeah. Itchy Wookie. Oh, God, that must be horrible to be an Itchy Wookie comics.
Oh yeah, that sounds terrible. It sounds like they might need some cream or something.
Well, I mean, the way storytelling is going, that we're probably going to get a whole comic series on like on Chewbacca's fleas, or
Yeah, this
whatever.
jock itch.
Yeah. Thank you for the £1, sir. Or I'm sorry, sir. Person. I just assumed gender.
How dare you assume somebody's gender?
Oh my God. Get the Twitter mob on me. Nimble Navigator, $62, $5. How do you feel about the ultimate destruction of the MCU timeline? I love what you do. Hey, and I love you being here, and I love you guys being here, and I will get the chat in a second. Yeah, the MCU timeline just got peed and pooped on and set on fire, and yeah, there's all kinds of problems with just the Tesseract and the timing of everything, and I guess you could. But I mean, listen, Nick Fury's eye, if you want to pinpoint, like, when did the MCU, I won't say die, when did the MCU lose its shine? Yeah, shit the bed. That right there, Nick Fury's eye.
I got to quote Red Letter Media for this one. It feels pretty good.
It feels pretty good. Yeah. How's it feel to watch everything that you that you love being destroyed? Yeah.
Feels pretty good.
Feels pretty good. Milky Mantits.
That's such a great name. One of the best viewers I have is 40 ounces of gender fluid.
Yes. 40 ounces of gender. Remember to change your gender fluid, ladies and gentlemen, every 3,000 miles. Australian $5. G'day, Sheila. How the bloody hell, you mate? When will they learn get woke, go broke? Should be taught in a university. It's at a university at some point.
Well, the funny thing, they actually do. I mean, that's all part of marketing. That they it's not called Get Woke, Go Broke, but there is definitely something in there, and it was covered by Geeks and Gamers.
Yes, the great Geeks and Gamers with the great Jeremy. Who just had a birthday. He turned 21, no longer drinking out of sippy cups, and I think he's still wearing the shoes with the Velcro on it. I don't think he's graduated to laces yet, but he'll get there. He'll get there. He's just a little baby. I hope he's not. What's up, Jeremy? If you're listening, talking.
Yeah, it's all about respect, dude. It's all about respect.
Geo Law 1, Canadian $5. Renew the Orville. Yes. Loving the show, Gary. Cheers from Newfoundland, Canada. Newfoundland is that the one where is Newfoundland? Which side is Newfoundland on? I'm so stupid when it comes to Canada. Is it the James Delaney side from Taboo? It's on the East Coast. No, that's not. That's the West Coast. It's the James Delaney side. Okay, yeah, that's right. It's on the East Coast. Well, hey, California publicly educated. There you go. Matt Baldwin, $5. Woot for being a troll. I even stay inside my room most of the time, and they call it my cave.
Do you avoid sunlight because you might turn to stone?
Mother lets me out sometimes. Michael Deich for $5. If this is the direction going forward, I'll just give some kind of closure. I'll get some kind of closure out of Endgame, and that's it. It was a good run, Marvel, and it was.
Yeah,
it was. And yeah, I mean, I think they have a big problem on their hands. Now it's still a problem that's going to make them gobs of money. Don't get me wrong, but as far as the guaranteed $1 billion movie over and over again, those days might be coming to an end. They'll still make multi millions of dollars, but the slam dunk $1 billion movie, I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. The only I see this in the comment. I bet the Russos are pissed. I'm still holding out that they don't tank the movie. That I'm holding out that there's not going to be an agenda in there. It's just going to be a good movie. Like I said, that's what I'm hoping for. Whether that's reality or not is a totally different story.
Hope is not a strategy.
No, it's not.
So here's what I think. I don't think they'll crap the bed in Endgame. I think if Endgame craps the bed, it actually will be the resolution of the cliffhanger. I think that's. I mean, I'm being honest here. That's something Doomcock brought up in his Infinity War review that I completely agree with. I completely agree with Doomcock while still enjoying Infinity War. There is so many problems with that movie. There is just ridiculous logic problems with that movie that I just try to overlook.
There is.
It's hard to, the more you watch it, but it's really pretty. It's a pretty movie. So yeah, I think the resolution, I think time travel, Deus Ex Machinas, I think that will even affect the normies. If the normies walk out of there going, wait a minute, so yeah, I do not envy the Russo brothers at all. And if they pull this off, by the way, I mean, they have my respect anyway, no matter what.
Oh, totally.
No matter what happens with this movie, they'll have my total respect.
Winter Soldier, man, that movie right there, they got mad respect for me.
Yeah, Winter Soldier and Guardians are the two best MCU movies by far.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's best and my favorite. They're two different things. Adam W, $5. Do you think there are some people inside in Hollywood that are sad sandbag things that are sandbag things at times, tired of Agenda 2? Might explain some things. There are, and that's what the emails I was alluding to. And there clearly are, and I've brought this up. There's people who are just absolutely going along to go along, like you said, to keep their jobs. And I'm not going to judge anybody for that. I mean, you got to pay the bills, and plus you worked really hard to work in Hollywood, and you thought it was the fun place, and then you find out it really isn't. It's like really crappy. Sorry, the dogs are going crazy.
No, cool. By the way, congratulations on the 52,000 subs.
Oh, we hit 52?
That's what we're seeing on a few of your super chats.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Oh, I'm so fired up. This is fun. I mean, even, watching the MCU crash and burn, it's not crashing and burning, but seeing the MCU like take a punch in the gut sucks. Like I get no joy out of that.
No, neither do I. And that's the other thing too. I think a lot of people are going to assume that we wanted to see Captain Marvel tank because of Brie Larson. And my response is no. I actually wanted to see it be a good movie. I didn't want it to take the route that it did. And the other thing too is I would actually like to see Carol Danvers as Captain Marvel be portrayed as a good character for a change, because we were definitely not getting that in the comic books.
No, we did at one time. Carol Danvers used to have as Miss Marvel, had a personality and problems, and it's a character that I liked quite a bit. The Brian Reed run from the early to mid 2000s is very good. It's a very good run. It doesn't last very long. It kind of peters out, but the first 6, if you get the first trade, it's good. It's good. Justin Gould, $10. Congratulations on 50,000. Love your channel. You're my #1 news source. Oh boy, that's intimidating. For all things nerdy, long live the Orville. Well, Justin, thank you so much. I'll try not to let you down. I just pass on stuff. I think it was surprising when I saw the Dave Cullen video that the whole Access Media podcast thing.
Mhm.
I actually sat on that for a couple days because I wasn't sure I was going to do it. I was very excited when I found it. I'm like, "Whoa," I told you that already. And then,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, oh, I don't know, because like, you know what? Listen, maybe I shouldn't open up behind the curtain, but like, there's things I think about. I don't want like major hate going to the people who did the podcast.
No, I agree
I
with
don't
you.
want
That,
to
I
be
mean,
responsible for that,
yeah.
but they said what they said. I think it needed to be reported.
No, it did. It
And
did. Totally need reported.
ultimately, my decision was, well, would they consider that for me? No. So,
No, 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 no.
and listen, I can take it, and I'm sure they're big boys and girls. They can take it too, and that's part of being on a podcast. That's part of being YouTube. It's part of the game. And and I left their names out. I mean, people could have found them. It was easy to search and everything, but the thing was, I think it needed to be heard, even though everybody knew that already. And that was the other thing I was considering. I was like, maybe this will just be dumb. Maybe people will just go, duh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is that you have to take into consideration that these people will not give you the same courtesy. If they found a way, going back and finding like a stupid tweet, something you did that was dumb, they would drudge up your history just to smear you. Granted, we're not trying to smear them; we're trying to expose the truth here. For what it's worth. Yeah, they would not give you the same courtesy. And you didn't say anything inflammatory. You just said, here's what they said. This is my interpretation. Let's move on.
Yeah. So that was cool.
I love what Dave said, rules for me and not for thee. That's basically how the shill media feels. You are not allowed to have your own opinion. We are going to spoon feed you your opinion. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's okay. You're going to have the official opinion. Here it comes, because and I love how they said we're going to take their toys away because it's a misused tool, and just the whole, like, you're serious with that, right? Because you haven't misused your tool for the last, I don't know, we'll just say 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah,
it's been a misused tool.
Mm-hmm.
Man, dogs are going crazy. They're
Happens,
very happy.
man.
That happens. But yeah, that was cool. That was like, but that'll probably be the only time I ever, because it was just a complete accident that I came across that. Slim.
Well, that's why you keep tabs on the opposition. They do to us.
Got to. I listen to all of them. I subscribe to a lot of channels. To a lot of channels. I listen to okay, like I listen to John Campy's podcast, but Robert Meyer Burnett's on there, and he's cool. Like, that guy's cool. The other guy, not so much. Slim Trucka, $20. This is kind of crazy. Captain Marvel should have been released with the introduction of Adam Warlock and the Watchers or Eternals. This movie pulled Last Jedi and broke all canon in the MCU. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's great that we're hearing people offer suggestions, because we like to be solution based here. I know Wep did a video on like how to make it better.
Yes.
And that's great.
He's good at that. He's good at that.
Yeah, and that's really what should be brought up when you criticize it, because like it's really hard to hit Slim, thank you for the $20, hit you with the troll when you're like, hey, I could have liked this if you would have done this and this, and really I didn't even think of that, and you're absolutely right. You introduce everything Jim Starlin through Captain Marvel. There is a rich history. Okay, great. You gender swapped Marvel. Okay, explain why Carol took on the name Captain Marvel, to honor her or something like.
Well, she wasn't even called. Yeah, I mean, because originally
either
she wasn't a captain. Yeah, because originally Captain Marvel was where she took the name from. And it totally doesn't make any sense. And this is my issue: is if they bring in Kamala Khan, if you read that story, first off, she's an Inhuman, and she was a big fan of Carol Danvers as Miss Marvel, which is the reason why she took up the persona of Miss Marvel. So now, when they introduce her into the MCU, it's not going to make any damn sense.
Well, this is the problem, and I'm going to just come out and say something that might not be a popular opinion, and I don't really care. Okay. This is what happens when you start bringing in inexperienced people, and the reason they're bringing in inexperienced people is because they're cheap, and they're trying to put it under the guise of diversity. But you just said it perfectly right there. They're cheap. They are getting a lot of writers, a lot of new writers, and they have the excuse of diversity, and they're saving tons of money. And nobody is saying that, but believe me, that's what the BBC's doing. Why are you not seeing top tier writers? Well, they're expensive.
They're expensive. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's a huge issue in not just the movie industry, any industry. When you have experienced people, they cost money. So it is a lot easier to go and bring in people fresh out of college and have them come in because you can pay them a lot less.
And, I'm not saying I don't know dick about the 6 writers who are on this, but there were 6 writers on this. So I can see how continuity got a little screwed up.
Are you serious? There were 6 fucking writers on
6
this?
people involved in writing the script and getting
Jesus.
it. Yeah. 6 people for a movie, for a 150-page script.
That's the problem when you rule by committee. And that's another thing that Lucasfilms really suffered from with the story group. You had all these diversity hires, and I really hate using that term, but that's what it was, that were brought in that basically end up tanking what could have been a really amazing set of movies. But no.
Well, there's nothing more evident than Star Trek right now, because you get like it's weird. You'll get 2 different things within an episode now, so it's improved from season 1. And actually, I'm on record saying last episode I almost made it through the whole episode liking it. It came that close. Then they effed it up at the end. I was like, but it was like a coherent, good episode, and it just feels like different people are writing the episode now. It's so evident that
well, I mean,
people are writing certain parts.
With I know with shows like that, you have a writer's room and you have multiple people working on something. And that's been done in the Next Generation. That's obviously being done in Orville, but there has to be a cohesive vision. There has to be someone who has the final say that can veto, no, that is bad.
And well, they had that person, but it looks like he's gone now, and they have another. And I don't care. I just don't care. But they almost made it. And I'll do a scene breakdown of that. Okay, let's get going on this, because I got to get the chat. It's been way too long here. Nordry, £5. Grats on 50K, and apparently Amazon Prime's Lord of the Rings series will be set in the Second Age.
Oh, very nice.
Yes. Okay, but is it going to be? It's not the Second Age you knew. Or it's not the Second Age you expect.
Oh, God.
So
What
of
now?
course they're going to diversify Lord of the Rings, and maybe they should. Maybe it's time. Just do it logically. Do it with story first, and fine, rock on. But I really don't need to see. I don't need to see a sexualized Lord of the Rings. I really don't. I mean, if you want to have somebody maybe like saying they love somebody, but I'm like, unless they're going to get busy, in Fangor Forest or fucking they're not. It's just not. Don't bring it up. Okay. It doesn't need to be brought, like sexualizing Star Wars. It's like, who cares?
Yeah, there's certain things that doesn't need to happen. It's like, one thing is like, you don't need to have bathrooms in Star Wars. You don't need to have people having sex in Star Wars. And I'm going to take a very unpopular opinion. As much as I am, I have friends who are LGBT. It doesn't need to be in Star Wars. I'm going to take that stance. It doesn't matter. It's unimportant. It doesn't necessarily need to have the same issues that our world deals with.
They're going to mention it, but again, it's pointless. It's like the quartering mentioning. I forgot what video game, but it's a video game that's just a shooter. Like there's no story in it at all. So having having a straight character makes no sense. It just doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. Sexuality in a shooter game is dumb. It's not. There's nothing to do with the fucking.
And story. I know the counter argument to that is the counter argument. Believe me, because I live in San Francisco and I hear it, and it's like, well, we're trying to normalize it, and it's not about sex; it's about love. Well, there's no love relationship. There was Leia and Han. And I guess there's kind of Rey and Kylo. Okay, if you want to make that a big part of it, but nobody's getting it on, and that's why it's really unimportant. Honestly, if you get too much in relationships, it takes away from good sci-fi anyway, unless it's like something like a TV series like The Expanse or something like that. But when you're in a 2.5-hour fantasy movie, it's just going to be something you give, for lack of a better term, lip service to, and then you move on.
Well, that's the thing too. I think it's really funny is that, something that there was a Mary Sue article about the whole thing with Captain Marvel and not having a romance. And it's like, you realize that there's lots of movies out there that have people in it. I'm just gonna leave it as people that don't have romances. Okay. I agree with the sentiment that you don't always have to have a romance, even if it's a female-led character in a movie. It doesn't have to have a romance. Just bringing that up is so fucking stupid. And the whole thing, what they're saying, it's the romance is between her and Monica or whoever the mom was.
Oh, is that what they're? Yeah,
Yeah, it was like their equivalent of a bromance,
that's
I guess.
that weird
Girlmance.
obsessed shipping thing where like nobody can be friends. Like,
Well, they weren't shipping it. It was like the whole idea that it was like their bromance, girlmance, or whatever they want
yeah.
to call it. The story, yeah, the female equivalent of a bromance. Um, yeah, and I'm pretty sure somebody will be shipping it somewhere.
Oh, they already are. I'm sure. Again, thank you, Nordry, for the £5, and that is good to hear, man. I'm sorry, I say man naturally. I'm
It's
excited for the
romance.
Lord of the
Thank you,
Rings.
romance.
Yes, romance. I am excited for the Lord of the Rings series because I love the Lord of the Rings, and I'm gonna hope for the best on that one. As long as they don't Game of Thrones it, make it Lord of the Rings. Okay, make it about the story journey. There's a lot of killer stuff they can do in the Second Age, so that's good. Good.
Well, and the other thing too, they can very easily diversify it because the Lord of the Rings universe still is supposed to take place on Earth. So you can bring in other people from different continents. That's fine. As long as you're not like trying to overly diversify in areas like, oh, suddenly there's black people in Europe where there wasn't before. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. No,
It's like
should
some
be
of the
fine.
stuff. Yeah, it's some of the stuff that they were doing like in the BBC where they had, black Romans living in Britain. It's like,
well, they did that in
sure that
Doctor Who
didn't
season
happen.
10 too. During yeah, they did it in season 10, Doctor Who season 10. It was ridiculous. So okay, so the Second Age we can see we're probably going to see I don't know, the origin of Sauron. Well, that was the Battle of the Ring. That was before that. So we're going to see the Battle for the Ring, the original one. And then maybe we'll go a little bit before that. So
yeah, hang on, I do need to point this out. Yes, you are correct. There were black Romans, and I didn't get a chance to really finish my sentence. But in Britain, not so much. Italy, yes, absolutely in that area, and especially when they expanded into onto the African continent.
hey, guys, what I mean, like, I'm sure there was a couple here and there,
Yeah,
but
possibly.
we're not talking like large numbers because that's just the way it was back then. I mean, I wasn't there, so I don't fully know, and it's not anything.
Well,
I really
yeah,
care that
exactly.
much about.
It's so difficult to prove at this point because it's so
JPRPH1 999. Hail, guys, what is the name of the polling service that gets people's opinions of a movie as they leave the theater? It was CinemaScore. Caught up on Doom Patrol. Great. Thanks for the recommendation. I'm pretty sure it's CinemaScore. Thank you, JPRPH1. They are there, but have you ever been approached by a CinemaScore person? Comments?
No,
I haven't either.
never
That's
have.
like a Nielsen family. You know a Nielsen family? I've never known a Nielsen family.
I was actually a Nielsen family when I was younger.
Oh, you were? Whoa,
Yes.
that's weird. You're the first person I've ever met.
Yeah, but that was like when you were tracking everything on paper.
Yep. Jason Green, $5. Brie Larson is sorely miscast for this role. Not to mention all the retconning. Rather have Zazie Beetz from Deadpool as Rambo. Oh, that's
yeah.
that is a good choice. I loved her.
Yeah,
I thought I was gonna like really dislike her. And
as much as I hate
her.
I hate race swapping. I thought that was actually she was
great,
amazingly charismatic as Domino.
Yep, she would be an awesome. That would be great. Philimax, Australian 14.99. To protest my view regarding Captain Marvel, I'm going out of my way to see Alita Battle Angel as a form of protest. Good, as I know in the end the best way to hit them is in the box office. Exactly.
Yep.
And I'm here to tell you, don't get discouraged. There's going to be big numbers for this movie. You can't fight the normies. No. Just like the neither side can fight the normies. I've said this since I started this podcast. They are what makes the world go round.
Absolutely.
And, that's who I sold the most comic books to. And that's like you said, those are the hearts and minds you have to win over. That's happening. It just doesn't happen overnight. And with the MCU, this is honestly their first mistake that they can absolutely recover from. They could come back and Captain Marvel. I did hear a rumor that the Russo brothers are going to depower Captain Marvel somehow because they have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the movie's over.
Yeah, that was in the article I sent you the other night.
So, and listen, they have been trying to adjust the power structure in the MCU. They really amped up Thor and Iron Man, which is fine. But the direction they're going, and we're going to read that article in a little bit, is this is it, folks. I mean, like, this is it. And the only way you stop it is by stop going. Problem is, it's going to take 2 or 3 years for this to work out. You know, like even Disney. So we get an episode 9 and it's a course correction from Last Jedi, but that trilogy still ruined.
Yeah.
I mean, it started out bad and, you know,
they crashed it straight into the ground. Oh,
they did.
By the way, hey, Cleveland Brown, how's it going?
Oh boy. What's up, Cleveland Brown? All right. So, okay. Let's get more. Dr. Venkman, $5. Best part of Captain Marvel is when I decided not to waste my money on that awful movie and saw fighting with my family instead. That's why you're Dr. Venkman. I'm a scientist. Yeah. And Slim Trucka, thank you for the $20 super chat. Philomax, thank you for the $14.99 Australian. Chris Persia, my friend, patron, Roman, countryman. Speaking of Romans, at least he's not Greek. No, just kidding. I love Greek people. Canadian, $2. Congratulations on 52,000 subs. Thank you. Thank you for your wrench, Chris Persia. You are awesome. Congrats on 52,000 from Dilbertson. 10 pounds. Thank you. Silhouetted Animator. Thank you, Dilbertson. Thank you. Silhouetted Animator, our old friend. $2. The new Nerdrotic 52. Congrats, Gary. My new 52 will not be as dark and gritty. I'm sorry. Billy Batson. I mean, won't be addicted to drugs. No, I know he wasn't, but although dude, that you see that big long Shazam clip?
No, I need to. I haven't seen the second trailer yet. I need
Aquaman
to.
is on digital, folks, and Emergency Awesome just did a video. I don't know if it's there yet, but I watched the Emergency Awesome video. Charlie, hope to meet that guy someday. He's really cool. I like his channel. I watch all of his videos still. I mean, yeah, he's super like, just here's your stuff, and that's great. And there's something to be said about that. I like that. I wouldn't want to do that, but I like it a lot. So he did a video on the Shazam clip, and it's a big, long, extended clip of when he first meets Freddy, or Freddy first sees him as Shazam, and they're working out the power thing, and it's really funny. And yeah, the review embargo has been lifted a month early on this film. They're feeling pretty damn good about it, and now I'm feeling pretty damn good about it, and I'm excited. I can't wait. Luis Muniz, $4.99. They'll surprise us with the X-Men and Endgame, and Rogue has taken Marvel's powers. That if that happens,
that would be brilliant.
Wow. You want to talk about cheering? There would be so much cheering. That would be brilliant. And I think at the end of Endgame, we are going to get either an X-Men or Fantastic Four. I predict Fantastic Four. Little something or other.
That would actually probably make the most sense, especially if they're trying to go cosmic with everything.
Well, what if they end up in some kind of shield facility, and then some weird message comes from some place, and it's from Reed Richards, like, we've been trapped in the negative zone for 30 years and we're on our way back, and you know. Yeah, but all this retconning stinks. What's going on? Dr. Venkman, $5. Can we shill out Comics Division's channel to get him to 1,000 subs? Thanks. Yes. Well, that's part of the plan of bringing him on again, Dr. Venkman. We're trying to help my pal out, Comics Division, who like makes video like once every 7 months.
For a while, it was like that.
Yeah.
Not
Well, he's got a day
anymore.
job, and
yeah,
you know, like, you know, but yeah, he mainly talks about comic books. And
actually, I haven't really talked about comics in a while. It's mainly been kind of making fun of Mary Sue articles on occasion.
Well, that's easy.
It's so
basically easy. Picking low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, I do that too. Yeah. I'm not going to judge you.
But yeah, so let's see. I'm trying to remember what I was.
You could put a link in the description because you're a mod.
I will do that right now.
So go check it out. Check it out. Yes. And you know, the plan was to have him on for comic book stuff, but I'll probably just have him on more if you guys seem to like him. So I heard something about Ratcatcher being in Suicide Squad 2 and a character is gender swapped. Well, I mean, like, yes, just assume every character is going to get gender swapped now. I think this thing peters out when we get the all-female Saving Private Ryan and Platoon and Bridge on the River Kwai, and just for what the hell, American Me. I want the female American Me,
But how
but
are
it
they
has
gonna
to be in a male prison. It has to be women playing men in a male prison.
How are they gonna do that? Would you want shit on my clit or my knife?
Yes. There you go. I think there's really interesting, especially if they keep the characters' rat features and mannerisms. All I know about Suicide Squad 2 is Idris Elba's Deadshot, and I'm totally down with that.
Yeah, I mean,
100%.
there's certain people I don't have an issue with actor-wise, and it's like even though it's like Thor, it's about Norse mythology, they should be all white, but Idris Elba's in it. I'm kind of torn on that. What the hell? Fuck it. I like it.
Yeah. Archangel Archangel IO891, 2 pounds. Hi, GB. Saw Captain Marvel. She's as unlikable as Brie Larson. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of. She was the same. I have imagined there wasn't a big stretch. I imagine there wasn't a big stretch down. Now, Reno makes a very good point with the $2 super chat. The loud conversations drove normies to see Captain Marvel. I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that.
That was one of the things I wanted to bring up at some point too, was the fact that sometimes, yes, controversy gets people interested. Hey, what's going on with Captain Marvel? There's all this controversy. Hey, let's go check the movie out. Yeah, so I do think that was, again, woke marketing that definitely played into it. Because you get that buzz going. People like us are going to talk about it, right? It's the Streisand effect because of the stupid shit that Brie Larson said. We're going to criticize her for it, which just gives them more exposure. So in a weird sort of way, we're feeding the beast by talking about it, but got to have content, man.
You got to have content for one, and you know what? Yeah, they got to see it. People, you can't judge anything without seeing it. And the example I'm giving in my video, I'm giving away all my video that's coming out Sunday, is in the beginning is, well, I've tried, there's a lot of similarities with Doctor Who with Captain Marvel. The first episode got over almost 11 million people in the United Kingdom watching it. So that is, how many people are in the United Kingdom? 60 million? Is it 60 million? What's your population over there?
Let me.
So let's just say it's 60 million. That's a sixth of your population watching a TV show. I mean, that's a lot of people. By the end, it was down almost half. That's pretty much what we got, a curiosity factor and the wow factor. Plus it's an MCU movie.
6 million.
Yeah. So, okay, there you go. Like almost, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Imagine that same percentage of people watching something in America. That's like a Super Bowl, or maybe less. I'm not sure. Math's bad, but it's a lot of people. But then they dipped out as time went on because the wow factor waned. And Doctor Who is, religion in the UK to some. It is to me as well. And yeah, loyal fans will stick with it. And the MCU is far from burning their loyalty, far, even with this. But the thing is, you can burn this goodwill so fast, like faster than you could possibly imagine. Star Trek has done it. They just don't realize it yet. The number of Star Trek, actual like hardcore Star Trek fans is going down. It's aging out, and they're not getting new ones, not with this show. And like, please, with the season 3, nobody talks about this show. If you go to your favorite YouTubers who cover Star Trek Discovery and go look at their view counts for the episodes that they cover and watch those view counts going down. Now, if you just look at one YouTuber, you could just say, well, maybe the YouTuber's sucking. And that's a possibility. You could always say that about me or somebody else. But with all of them, the interest is, it's funny that the season 3 announcement, actually things like more people became disinterested after that, which is hilarious. So yeah, it's what's going to happen, because that leads me up to the next. There's 2 more super chats. Reno, $2, but the curiosity won't last. The movie sucked. I totally agree. Thank you for the $4, Reno. It's good to see. Am I saying that right? Is it Reno or Rieno? Please correct me if I'm mispronouncing your name. I am okay with it. Monkey Ride for £2. When will the wokeness end? Who will Craig first? It will never totally end. What it will
Yeah, I
do,
don't see it ever truly ending.
no, it'll fade away. And what happens is right now the balance got upset. The balance is upset. We usually have a balance, and it's never perfect. And the two extreme sides are always fighting each other. But the vast majority of us who are just in the middle, who just want to like go to movies and be entertained and shit, that's what's being upset right now. And then of course we're trolls when we say that, then, you know, because they don't have an argument against like, no, I don't like, it's not like I want another person's politics put in. I want all of it out right now. I think I am tired of the hyper political times. It's boring.
It's oversaturated. It's in everything. And
Yeah.
that's the thing that really irritates me, is that it's the reason why I stopped paying attention to Facebook. I'm tired of everybody's woke bullshit. I'm tired of people complaining about Trump. I just want to have a show where I can disengage from reality and enjoy myself. And those have become fewer and fewer in numbers. Thankfully, we have great shows like The Orville and The Expanse that dip their toe in a different kind of politics. It's more belters versus earthers versus people on Mars.
Allegory, morality tales.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even classic Trek, where people want to say it's social justice. Yeah, no, there wasn't. I think the term was politically correct. It's like, no, it's definitely progressive for sure, but it's not PC. They tackled a lot of themes and things that are going on now that are not being done well at all. Period. With the exception of like Orville and Expanse.
And that's that whole confusion. I mean, people try to muddy the argument. So like and I know when you say it, and I know when most people say it, when they say SJW or NPC, they do not mean a progressive person or a liberal person. Not at all. Au contraire. I think it's a very specific, really shallow view of the world. And I'm not going to, even the people I complain about, I'm not saying that defines you as a person. That's just a way you act. You know, there's certain, you know, hey, we're human beings. We're all things. Okay. I can be a total asshole. I can be a total nice guy. We're all things, but
I'm a total asshole. I bet.
Yeah. And I am too, but I don't expect it. Like, I don't need everything. I don't want the thing I watch to have to be filled with stuff I agree with. I mean, I just don't.
It doesn't have to be there. I mean,
it simply does. Yeah. It's just the way it's presented is so lame and basic.
Part of the issues that we're seeing in the colleges and all the wokeness too is like, part of what makes you a better person is having your ideas challenged, tested and challenged, you know, but that's the problem. What we're seeing, it has to be an echo chamber. You have to hear the same thing. You have to have this, what's the word I'm looking for?
Who did the fucking video? I can't, oh boy, I don't want to get into politics, but there's a great video on, I think it was daycare culture. Something like that really explains it. I mean, listen, hey, I took my kids to daycare too. So it's not a judgment on a parent for taking their kids to daycare. You have to do it. Both parents need to work now. It's a different world, but there's ways to work with that. And maybe not everybody is. And, you know, not everybody's a perfect parent. Guy with the pants. That's good that you bring that up, guy with the pants, because, you know, well, we don't know if Comics Division's wearing pants because he's anonymous.
I'm definitely wearing pants.
Yes. Good. $5.99. So excited about the new Shazam movie. Could care less about Captain Marvel. Seeing Zachary Levi on the big screen made me watch Chuck again. You know, I like Zachary. They've given him, that guy gets a lot of chances at stuff. He's certainly gotten a lot of chances, but I got to say, now that I've seen him as Shazam, even remember all the, like, I was part of it, the criticism of the costume and stuff. It just, and they were saying, hey, wait and see. And you know what? They were right. And that's me saying, you know what? I'm still totally okay with criticizing the costume. That's what I thought at the time. But now that I've seen it in context in that clip, it looks excellent. It looks fun. Looks like a fun movie. I don't know if everybody else feels that way. because I mean the costume is still pushing suspension of disbelief a little bit, but it worked for me. Joel Tamburo, $10. Hi, sorry I'm late. You are on detention for being late, Joel. You now have to pause the video and think about it for a few minutes before you can restart, and you can't watch it live. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, whoa. Are they actually gonna be doing Star Wars detours now?
I don't know about that. Is that says?
Well, no, I was looking at Zachary Levi's IMDb, and they have it for 2019 Star Wars detours post production.
They might.
Yeah, it says Biff Tarkin 2012 because I know that they did this a long time ago, and it got totally muddled when Disney bought Lucasfilm, and I thought it would never see the light of day. So maybe it might actually happen.
I've seen some of them, like pieces.
They're hilarious, dude. They're hilarious.
Did you like the Orville this week? Yes. Remember, the thing to watch on Captain Marvel will be the second weekend, as the opening weekend was baked in. Remember the huge drop Batman Superman had. This movie's going to have a drop. It's going to have a drop. The fan score, any movie that has a fan score that's below what 60%, I think it's like there's the math on this. Like it has a drop of 50 to 60%, like almost every time. Yeah. See, the thing is, what I'm finding out is most normal people don't read as much. Like, you and I do YouTube channels, and there's some people who are just hardcore fans.
Yeah.
But normal people don't read like 100, 200, 300 Rotten Tomatoes reviews, or get into the weeds, or read Box Office Mojo for 3 hours. I do. And like Odin probably does,
Yeah. Movie blog. Yeah. I mean,
Odin. Yeah. He's like on Box Office. That's like his porn site. Like when his wife comes in, he's like hiding the history from Box Office Mojo. Just kidding, Odin. Love you, man. The Orville was another great episode this week. It was a very Star Trek make you think episode.
Oh, absolutely was.
It was really, really good. So I'm going to do a breakdown on it, but yeah, spoiler free. Excellent. Like that is 3 kick-ass episodes in a row. This show rules. Where's the season 3? I think we're getting it soon. I think them announcing a comic book series, I think that's kind of a giveaway. I don't know why. Here's the deal. If Fox lets the Orville go, somebody will eat that up in a second.
God, I hope so. I hope
if they're going to pick up the Expanse, they would pick up the Orville. They're not going to let it go. Now, will it be something that they maybe move to a streaming service? I think that's a possibility. I think that's a definite possibility, because it almost feels like a streaming service show to me. Okay, so Nerd Girl, what's up? $4.99 from Nerd Girl. Congrats on 51,000, Gary. Nationalreviewers.com have a review called Captain Mary Sue. They are not shills. I will find that review. I'm actually going to point out some of the honestly, like you do these videos and then you get, things happen on a human level. I get a lot of emails. I'm trying to read them all, but when I get 6 freaking emails from people in the media and they show me where they work, I'm like, ooh,
that's cool.
Yeah. It's maybe something to make a video on without giving away their names, of course. $20 from Slim Trucker. My last message to piggyback my last, they missed a great opportunity to introduce Nova. Oh, they have an origin movie when they could have gotten her exploring the aftermath and had her at Earth Nova would have been a great addition. Yes. We know that Xandar was what? I don't know if it was destroyed, but Thanos was able to get that Infinity Stone, oh my God, I can't remember which stone it was, but from Xandar, and it looks like he laid waste to Xandar possibly, or he must have killed some people. So we don't know what happened. That happened off screen. They could have used this you're right, to fill in all the blanks from Infinity War while you're introducing this strong female character, and then like save the origin for another fracking day.
Well, they could have done like a like what they did with Deadpool, which is like you have a few flashbacks of the origin, and that's all you need. That's one of my issues with a lot of these superhero movies that are coming out, is that I don't need an origin story for everything. Just give me enough to understand. And I think modern audiences will forgive a lack of an origin story. There's certain things you can mention. You could have like a 5-minute flashback to explain something over the course of the movie, and that's all you need. It's like I don't need to see Bruce Wayne's parents dying again for the 50th freaking time. I don't need to see Uncle Ben die again for the 50th freaking time. I get it. Most people get it. You can tell something a little bit, give them a taste, and move on, and just tell a good fucking story.
Well, and that's what I was alluding to earlier with the writers. Okay, like they either I can't say that Kevin Feige was there. People were there. They had access to all of the Captain Marvel knowledge. They just didn't want to use it because they didn't want to even get close to having any kind of male influence on her powers, which was just dumb. That's what takes you out of the storytelling. It's like, so what?
They retconned the same thing in the comic.
You know what? Maybe she was an immaculate conception because you don't want to show the fact that a male was involved in her birth. You know, I mean, like, and they took the family out, and of course there was the bad father trope, and at least they didn't even mention the mother, and which was just dumb. And you don't need to do that. Okay, I'm not going to think Carol Danvers got her powers from a man. She's not. And you're making it.
What's wrong with that, though?
You are making the movie. You're making the movie for people who would have a problem with that. You know how many people there are? They all work at the Mary Sue, and it's probably 6. I doubt even all the people at the Mary Sue would think about that.
Oh, jeez.
It's stupid.
It is stupid.
And you lost the opportunity to adapt properly the death of Captain Marvel. Okay.
Well, that's the other thing too. They could have held off adding Captain Marvel in until Phase 4, and they could have brought in Marvel and actually have done that and had Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel, and they could have like their own little team up like Ant-Man and the Wasp. But no, they had to bastardize the story, gender swap Marvel, and it's just like, I feel bad for the true diehard fans of Miss Marvel, of actual Carol Danvers, Carol Danvers.
I mean, like, listen, they just completely avoided any Marvel, the nega bands, anything. I mean, like, there is a rich history now that I read the Kelly Sue DeConnick issue 1 and 2 when that came out. I had the store at the time it came out, and I remember thinking it just absolutely blew, and I wasn't going to waste my time with it. And I tell you right now, the first issue sold really well, and the second one sold like shit.
Oh my god, it's really funny. Did you see her talking about how Captain Marvel is going to be make its way into gender studies books and shit like that? It's just like, really? Fucking Captain Marvel, you're not going to say this about Wonder Woman, which is a far superior movie. It's a far superior character.
Any university that puts Captain Marvel into their gender studies, parents, don't waste your money on it.
Seriously,
simply just avoid that. That's $100,000 a year you don't need to spend.
Well, I think the other thing too, what's pretty funny is that you're less and less men are going to college, and I think men have caught on that college is crap.
Yeah. Well, my oldest didn't go. He's smarter than
trade school, man. Go to a trade school. Learn the code.
Yeah. Well, he knows. He's a little math genius. He actually graduated. So he went to a City Arts and Tech. It's like a different kind of school, we'll say. So he actually graduated a subject early, which was math. He graduated math in 10th grade, and he was tutoring classes with the math teacher for the last 2 years. Guy with the pants. Did I already read this one? I did. Okay. So here we go. Mitch Cohen, $5. Can't believe I'm saying this, but I now wish Disney didn't buy Fox because X-Men will be the same universe as Captain Marvel. Better that they were separate. Mitch, I agree with you, and I didn't want Disney to buy Fox at all because we're seeing the end result of when Disney buys things, they get worse. And
Mhm.
somebody, it was Tyon Ranger, sent me an email. I'm not going to divulge all of it, Tyon, but he's basically, to nutshell it, he's like, I'm not taking crazy pills, but it just feels like they're taking like all the big stuff and they're injecting it full of politics. I'm like, no, you're not taking crazy pills. This is actually happening, whether it's
Mhm.
an agenda that's laid out by a group of a cabal of people in the Illuminati. Probably not. It's just a bunch of like-minded people who feel not empowered, who feel energized because they're unhappy about something, and they've been unhappy about it for a very unhealthy amount of time. Let's
Yeah.
just say that. And they're putting it into our films. The thing is, all this stuff happened a couple of years ago, so we're seeing the end results of it now. And that's where it is bringing. But no, Disney has made everything worse. Disney bought Star Wars and Marvel because they were a girls brand, and they didn't want. They were being known that was their reputation, and
Wait,
they
wait,
wanted.
wait. They bought what? Because it was known as the
They
girls' man.
okay. They come out and say this. Disney bought Star Wars and Marvel Comics because they were a girls brand.
What the?
That's what they were. They were not. They were losing their male audience. Well, they didn't have much of a male audience for anything. All right. They did for their parks and everything, but basically they wanted to bring in the boys. So they bought Marvel and Star Wars
Okay.
for
I
their
see what you're talking about.
merchandise.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So they brought these. And what's the first thing they did with them? They
They,
made them
yeah,
a girls brand.
they made
You
Star
know,
Wars a girls' brand.
which you know what, and I understand when they first said, hey, we're going to try to get more women involved in the comics and stuff. I was 1,000% on board. I'm like, yeah, we need more people buying comics.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
One,
I don't.
yes.
As long as I mean, as far as like readers, yeah. I mean, I don't care who reads comics. I mean, the more, in my opinion, the more people reading comics, the better,
Well,
because
yeah, right now.
that will help the
And
industry. But
that's
that's not happening.
still, yeah, that's still my opinion. And I still want that. It's how they've gone about it, which is
Yeah.
really, again, like they wrote the Captain Marvel movie on just a very shallow, basic.
Yeah,
Just
in fact, Goff, you're kind of on point too, because like the Star Wars princesses, and that's the funny thing is you can now say Princess Leia is a Disney princess.
yeah, you could say that about Kylo Ren too. And
Yeah, did you see the Star Wars Galaxy stuff that happened? There was one that came out like back in December where it's Princess Leia
oh yeah,
showing down Darth Vader, and then there's the new one where it's like sometimes the princess has to save herself. It's just like that's not how it happened. And I kind of called this in a video where you're going to start seeing the rewriting of Star Wars canon. And I seriously think at some point in time, they're going to remake the original trilogy and they are going to
I predicted that 5 years ago.
totally fuck it up.
I
Yeah.
did. They're going to do it. They're 100%. They're doing it now. They are in the process of rewriting the Marvel canon and the Star Wars canon to make it more, well, how did Kevin Feige put it? More forward. We're moving forward.
Mhm.
There's moving forward, and then there's moving in a direction. Now, sometimes forward can be in that direction, but sometimes you just take a hard turn. They're taking a hard turn. What they want to do is they want to do sophisticated things without being sophisticated. That's basically what they're doing. I want to write Shakespeare with a crayon. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You got to read your super chat, man. That's great.
The Xenomorph Queen is a Disney princess. She is. Oh my God, we need that picture now.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Matt
That's
Baldwin,
the
thank
thing.
you for the $2.
That's the thing I'm so concerned about with Disney buying Fox is that they are becoming unstoppable at this point. They are going to get to the point where they're going to just try and crush criticism because they own so many freaking franchises right now and whatnot. And yeah, it's like you're going to start getting PG, aliens movies, and that's not what they should be. I fear for a PG or PG-13 Deadpool. I mean that they will kill that franchise faster than than you can believe if they do that.
Yep. Well, the only way to keep the franchise going is to do X-Force and do it rated R. I don't know if they could even get away with a third just Deadpool movie. So,
Well, no, the next step
yeah.
would be X-Force, but you get my point, right? I mean,
Totally,
if they go,
absolutely.
and I totally fear that PG Deadpool thing that happened.
Well, it failed.
It was like, oh, thank God it failed. Yeah. But that was like their stepping stone to try it out, to test the waters. Will a PG Deadpool work?
Do you know how
And
much
thank
money
God
it
it
made?
failed.
Do you know how much money it made?
Mm-mm.
$6 million.
Wow.
Like a single 6, not 60, not 16, 6. That was opening weekend, which is horrible. And I know it was for charity and everything, but they did tons of publicity about it. I couldn't believe I had to double take on that. I'm like, what? It made so it's not going to work. Can we please stop with the Wonder Woman? It was a great movie when it was a copy and paste of Captain America. She played her role greatly, but it was downright stealing. Slim Trucka, $10. Yes, it was. But you know what? I am okay with that. I think the DC really should have copied everything Marvel did, and they'd be more successful right now. But they are now that you know what? Through this though, we got to say they found their way, and it is different for Marvel. So maybe the process was worth it if they succeed. Time will tell.
Yeah.
But it was stealing, you're right. And you know what? I love the first Avenger. That is one of my favorite MCU movies. I know it's not like technically the best. I just love it.
I don't know, man. I think all the Captain America movies are definitely the better Marvel movies.
Oh, it's the best trilogy. It's the best like through and through trilogy, and he's got the best. Actually, yeah, because he's great. He's still great in Age of Ultron.
But technically, he's the second Avenger.
Well, yeah. Okay, can we talk about he's the first Avenger, but now he's the second Avenger, even though he came out before Carol. And like Shield knew about Captain America, so they just didn't let Nick Fury know because he was just a mid-level agent. After being to all those wars and everything, he was just like an office jockey, big badass Shuri. Demasculating Nick Fury was the whole point of this movie, the whole point of casting him next to Captain Marvel. They said, hey, we're going to build up Captain Marvel. Let's take the biggest Mac Daddy of them all in the Marvel universe. It's next to like actually having Hulk there being an idiot next to her the whole time. They picked Nick Fury because they couldn't take Punisher at the time, probably. And they chose to do that. And I could see it in the writer's room right now. It's, let's have a cat take out his eye. Oh, that'll piss off the fanboys. That's exactly what they did.
The sad, lonely women that only have cats. They'll love it. They'll love that because it's a man getting his eye scratched out.
Yep.
That probably didn't happen, but that's my interpretation.
I'm guessing that's closer to being truth.
Yeah.
Disney's picture Disney's version of Jason Blood Etrigan of Demon. Well, Disney doesn't even touch the supernatural Marvel universe, which is like the best part of the universe. They've got Doctor Strange, but Doctor Strange should have already had a sequel by now, by the way. And I don't know why. The silhouetted animator, $5. The synthetic man, aka 40's Human Torch, in the first Captain America movie, has to play a role in Phase 4 now that Disney owns the character's real name. Well, it's too bad they missed the opportunity to connect that in the very least. Hey, what's up to Vision's origin? But we're getting way ahead of ourselves, and you got to remember that he's a white male, so he will not be mentioned at all. Okay, to the chat. God, that took forever. Sorry. I've always watched the MCU as a bit of fun. I've never taken reviews seriously until now. All the wokeness just winds me up. I can't enjoy the film as I feel attacked the whole way through. When will this end? The thing is, it's never going to end until they start listening to our side, which they're not going to do. They're too busy dehumanizing us and calling us trolls to not hear that.
Well,
let me finish.
Sorry.
To not hear the broad generalization that they're doing, and it's a very broad generalization, and they're probably, and either they don't care or they're not aware that they're offending people that they don't intend to offend, but they are. And probably their reaction to that is, well, don't be such a sexist or racist. And that's their very basic lame response. and it's not it's not very empathetic either, and it's that's what we're dealing with right now. Is they're just people on this side, and we're the good guys, they're the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think part of it is that you're seeing it already happening with the show media, where you have Vox and all the very, very, very leftist progressive outlets that are losing money big time. So it kind of starts there. When these excuse me, when these sites start seriously losing money and closing down, and they get bought by, I don't want to say more conservative, but more outlets that want to appeal to a broader audience, that's definitely going to help. When it comes to movies and entertainment, when they stop making money off of us, that's when it's going to end.
Yeah, and I want businesses to steer close to being neutral, being politically atheist, not anything. I want to buy something to appeal to everybody, because that actually brings more people together than whatever's going on right now. No, nerd culture got fractured when, well, sorry to say this, normies, but when the normies started coming in greater rates because of the corporations. It's not the normies' fault, it's the corporations. And then the corporations did what they do. They do what they do. This is absolutely happening the way most of us expected when we heard that fateful day that Disney bought Marvel, which I can't lie, it shocked me. Nobody saw that coming. Zero people in the comp, maybe a couple in the comp, but they weren't sharing it. And I was pretty much in the know, and no other comic shop retailer knew. We were on the phone to each other going, do you effing believe that? And none of us were happy. Like, none of us. We're like, oh shit. And we just figured, well, we got time. And that time is almost up. I was in a store today. Like I told you, that's got until the 25th of March, and it's gone. So it's got, I know exactly how Christian feels right now. So he has 2 weeks till his dream is gone. and he's relieved. He's absolutely relieved. I don't want to share too much of the conversation, so I'll relate it to what I felt when I decided to sell my store, the way life was going at the time. It was like staring at a very slow moving freight train coming right at you, and I can't get off the tracks.
Yeah.
And it was like 2 weeks to get to me, but it's coming. And that's what it felt like every effing day until the day I decided to sell. And then all went away. It still sucked. And the worst part about it was knowing that I didn't even bother asking for help. And I'm not above, you got to ask for help if you need help. But I knew, like, Marvel, DC, Diamond, they weren't going to help me. And crowdfunding, I guess it was around, but it wasn't a thing. And it's not something I would have done. It would have just bought me time. It really wouldn't have saved the store. So I wasn't going to do that.
Well, that's one thing. It's pretty, I won't say bold, but it's very brave of you being able to admit that I have to get off the train because things are going to go down. Because some people will see it go down to the bitter end, and at the end, there's a lot of emotional damage. You got off before the train hit you, which is I think a very difficult thing for people to do.
It was tough. It was really tough. But I mean, like, Brian came in, helped out. I mean, like, some good things happened at the end, and believe me, I wouldn't have it any other way, the way things have turned out now. And I'm sitting here at 50K subs 5 years later. But yeah, it was over 5 years ago. I sold my store December 15th, 2013. And it was a great time in the comic industry. It was great. Comics were selling great. The writing, Marvel now had just started, so it hadn't cracked the bed yet.
Yeah,
it was
Marvel
good.
now was really good.
It started out so fun, and they were doing a lot of different things. And for Christ's sake, Captain America was being written well.
Yeah.
Mark Waid wasn't completely effing nuts. His Daredevil run, while it ended terrible. I mean, but at the time I was liking it.
Where did you think things really started to go bad?
Actually, it's so funny. Mrs. Nerdrotic brings this up. She's like, you left at the perfect time.
No,
I kind of did.
You really did.
It started going bad after the Secret Wars. By all accounts, was pretty fun. I hated it, but I
I
know a
hate it.
lot of
I hate
people
it
liked
too.
it,
No,
but I
I hate it.
freaking hate it. But honestly, right around as soon as the minute Cap said "Hail Hydra," that was kind of your first sign. But then a little
I
before that, God, what was it? When was it? It was like early 2000, late 2016. I started knowing something was wrong.
I honestly think things started to change when you had the Milo Manara cover was being so heavily criticized. There was a lot of stuff that where you saw Marvel being criticized by SJWs, like the whole thing with Falcon and Pitch Black and the Captain America comic. There was a lot of outrage about that. You had the Milo Manara stuff that was going on with his Spider Woman cover. And I think that was really the true beginning because Marvel was getting criticized. And you also had the the Batgirl cover
Yep.
that had that was a tribute to Killing Joke, and people lost their shit over that.
And the thing was, it wasn't a lot of people. It was just people with influence,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
comic industry was at the time trying to actively get more women in. And the thing is, they've succeeded in every angle except for actually selling comics, because I'm going to say something that's just a fact. Not that many women are going to buy comics on a regular basis.
Hmm.
I know, woo, big shock,
Yeah.
but there's data to back that up. We have had plenty of time to figure that out. And listen, there would have been a time where I remember having a talk with a comic artist friend of mine named Joseph, and I totally agreed with him at the time. Like, hey, women could be the future of this industry. What I meant by that is like they come in and they really make up for some of the lost sales, and then it can lift everything up. And honestly, if you kept storytelling pretty much the way you had it before,
It wouldn't. Yeah.
it wouldn't, it would have probably, because the stories were good. See, the thing is, a lot of people felt like they needed to change for women, which was, I mean, it's again, that's
Well, that's the
the
funny thing too, is that you kind of saw that too with manga, where you had a lot of girls and women reading the shonen stuff, and I think somebody said, "Hey, we should change stuff to make it more appealing to women." It's like, why would you want to do that? We already have women reading this stuff.
yeah, it's the story's good anyway. You don't need to change. That's like changing stuff for normies. Why? What comic book movies? What I mean, every single time, what comic book movies do better than others? The ones that are closest to the comic book, that
Hey,
look like the superhero every single time, but yet they still like, we need to ground this superhero and make the possible change. Dude, Iron Man worked because he looked like effing Iron Man.
yeah.
He looked like Iron Man. I mean, every single time. So
Really quickly. Hey, Susan, how's it going?
what's up?
She's in the chat.
Hi, Susan. So what? Yeah. So they have the chance. They've got the marketing. They have a character that's been around for 70 plus years. And then some 25-year-old film student thinks he knows better than Bob Kane or Bill Finger. And he's going to come in and change everything. Or some 40-year-old guy or
I gotta
woman.
revolutionize the world.
Yeah, I'm going to subvert your expectations because I don't know what the
Thank you.
hell I'm doing. So I'm just going to call it subverting expectations to write it on my level.
You're just not smart enough to understand my brilliance.
Hollywood is built on layers of thick bullshit. And Zandini Mountain, what is it? Bandini Mountain? Bandini Mountain? The Oh, you didn't grow up in Southern California. I think it was
I did
called
not. It was the Bay Area.
the Bandini Mountain is a mountain of manure, and it used to be a commercial down in SoCal where they had a guy skiing on a giant mountain of bullshit. I think it was called Bandini Mountain. Yeah, that's what Hollywood is. And that's what's happening right now. So they didn't need to change the comics, but they did. They also Disney, I don't know, Marvel works autonomously and they still do, but they must have gotten their funding cut or something because they started going cheap with their editors and their artists and their writers, and they started leaving and going to DC. Now this happens all the time. There's a cycle, there's a flow to things, and Marvel builds up some talent and they leave to DC and they go on to do probably better things. But
Well, they probably get paid more at DC.
well, they do. They absolutely. Well, I know that for a fact. They do.
Yeah.
And they also have benefits. And stuff.
Yeah, Sharon Gordon Murphy pretty much such.
Yeah, Derek's told me that too. So So how did this get screwed up so fast? Well, because for me, you might have noticed it sooner, but I was not in the game anymore. And I like actively, I kept my comics, but I pretty much, after I sold the store, I was like, I need a break. I need
Well,
a break.
the funny thing is, I was actually kind of oblivious to it, and well, I mean, it's like there was the obvious stuff. Okay, you know, they started changing up Captain America, all this stuff. Okay, not a big deal. They do stuff like that. It made sense kind of for Falcon to take over because you know he's you know Steve Rogers' friend. But overall, if they change things up just to change things up, no big deal. But if you kept the writing good, it would have been fine. I was reading, you know, Totally Awesome Hulk, which was mediocre. The first 5 issues were pretty good with the Frank Cho art, but I started seeing the stuff as like, what the fuck am I reading? It's like, why is this? At the time, it was identity politics. I didn't have a word for it yet. It's like, what the hell is this crap doing in here? And I wasn't reading Mockingbird, so I totally missed the ask me about my feminist agenda stuff with the cover, and I just started noticing stuff, and I'm like, this is not good stuff. This is not good stories. What the hell? It's like I tried reading All New Wolverine. I couldn't get past issue 3. I don't think I got past issue 2. You know, I canceled it by issue 5. I the some of the you know Jane Foster's Thor was decent, but a lot of the issues I had is like it's a dude's name. Why are you calling this chick Thor? And why is Thor Odinson not wanting to call, and that's what he was calling himself at the time. Why is Thor not wanting to be called Thor anymore?
That was
All these things that
dumb.
made no fucking sense.
I heard all the rationalizations for that, and I was like, I'm not, you know, as of right now, this second, I don't pick up a single Marvel book, not one. First time in my life. Probably won't.
Yeah.
Probably won't, because I'm not going to support that crap anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I noticed it happened, and what the whole point of this is going to be your end result for the MCU, for Doctor Who, for Star Trek Discovery, for Star Wars, if you keep going down this road. And people can deny it. I'm sure there's people in the chat going, nah, this is your indicator.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same audience that's going to watch in a microcosm, but this is actually your hardcore audience. Okay, the comic book fan is the for lack of not a pure, yeah, your most hardcore nerd. We'll say like level 10 nerd.
Mm-hmm.
That's your audience that's going to watch Star Wars, you know, Star Trek, all the things I just mentioned. So now they have all been through this. And most of them have completely checked out and they're just done. And they're still watching television shows and they're watching it happen again. And they're like, oh, and those are probably most of the people who are here in the chat here, found all of our state channels. You're kind of like the douchey hipster who saw the band first. Mm-hmm. You know, oh, I remember them before they were big. That's kind of what's going on right now. All right. So we're ahead of the game a little bit. It's going to take the normies and a lot of people and the people who are fans of this stuff and don't want it to end. And we got to factor that in, that these are not bad people. These are people who are just fans of something and don't want their something to go away. And I totally get that. The thing is, you just need to come to terms someday. And maybe it's totally fine to you, and it is to some people. But if it keeps going down this road, it will eventually start annoying you too.
Yep.
It's gonna happen.
Well,
and
as Sargon said, man, you know, feminism is coming for your hobbies.
It is. And it's not just feminism. It's not like I'm anti-women. This form of feminism is a political thing. It's like a religion. Okay. It's a
intersectionality, yes, is a religion. It's pretty terrible.
Yeah. So like that's what's going on. So it's coming for it. It'll lay waste to it and leave, and hopefully we can build up the ashes, or it's just dead. The thing is, I'm not willing to put up with the thing I love if it's not bringing me joy and it's like actively annoying me. This has been part of my life. Comic books are part of my life. I've made, you know, I've got skin in the game. They used to pay my bills. And it's a lifelong passion. I don't want it to die. I mean, listen, it won't kill me if it does. I just move on, but like it's something worth fighting for. And I just want it to move back in the middle. I don't believe I'm asking for much, and I don't think anybody else is either. But what's happening to comics now is 100% going to happen with all the stuff right now. It's just going to take a while. Like, hey, the MCU could correct itself and be fine. But if it goes down this road, it'll probably take 5 years, 7 years before it just burns itself out and people are done with it. It could be sooner. Maybe people are done with it now. I don't know, but it's going to take time. And
yeah, I've heard it's like a 5-year cycle. So I think maybe another 2 years, maybe.
Well, the other thing is, if it would be a tougher fight if this was well written. If it was well written, it's like, man, that was pretty well written, though.
Yeah,
see, it's not. So that
exactly.
makes
That's the point. Is that if they actually wrote it well, it wouldn't have been a huge issue. Even like the first run with Sam Wilson as Captain America wasn't terrible, and then when and I don't want to say it was when Nick Spencer took over, and I was very, very, very harsh and critical of Nick Spencer, and I'm beginning to think that it honestly was not Nick Spencer's fault. It was coming from Axel Alonso and Tom Brevoort, because he actually
most
made
definitely.
fun of he was actually making fun of SJWs and one of his and Sam Wilson Captain America.
But did Susan leave already? I was just going to say hi to her in the chat. Hi, Susan. I don't know. She just popped in for a second.
Yeah, she might have popped in for a moment.
Oh my God. Okay, so let's get back to a couple super chats there. That's the comic stuff that's going on. And it's an indicator, and it really, God dang it. Why did I do that? Hang on.
Okay.
I got to pop out the chat here again. So, I mean, what do we do about it? We keep talking about it. You don't buy the stuff, and hopefully it changes. And if it doesn't, you move on. Like Star Trek looks like it's pretty much going to go down this road. And, I'll cover the rest of season 2. I'll cover the Picard show. I don't know if I'll cover the Section 31 show. If it's going to be written by those, the 2 girls from Rain, it's going to be dumb as hell. So I don't even know if I'm going to waste.
Show?
Yeah. It's being written by the 2 women who wrote Rain, a show called Rain from the CW, and it looks like that's kind of where they're going. And then, like, whatever. I'm not gonna. Honestly, I think there's definite truth to the argument that the critics are bringing attention to stuff. Honestly, I wonder if some of us just backed off. Like, what would it do? And some of us have. Like, some people have just like, forget Star Trek. I don't care. I'm not there yet, but
hey, Veloe. The reason why I don't make daily videos is because I simply can't. I physically can't, because I do them late at night, and by the time I'm done, it's like 1 a.m. So I'm just usually exhausted. So I try to get at least 2 or 3 out. This week has been kind of hectic, which is why I only have 1 video.
Yeah, Mellow E, just in his defense, doing the edited videos, even like the simpler ones, take minimum. And Comics Division, what I know of him is he makes content professionally. We'll just say, I won't say where, but this is something he knows how to do, and it still takes hours. Yes. It still takes tons of, and it's something that I've actually used to do professionally too, and it still takes hours. And he and I both use the same program too, which is like the most basic programs, but it's great.
It gets the job done. I mean, I have Premiere, I have the Adobe Suite, but when it comes to actually recording stuff and editing, ScreenFlow,
baby,
it's the way to go, man.
It is. There's no bells and whistles. There's a couple, but there's no like. You can't move the frame. There's a bunch of stuff you can't do, but you can edit and it'll be done like that. It's great. God, and it still takes hours.
Yeah, it still takes hours. Even my last video, which I didn't script, I've been trying to script them, but a couple of them, most of them I try and script. The last 2, I simply didn't have time, or I partially script it just to have an idea of what I'm going to talk about. So that last one, I started at 10:30 and I was done by like maybe 1 o'clock, and I didn't launch it till the morning, because if I launch it at 1, I won't go to sleep.
Yep.
I will obsess over it.
Same here. Okay, so I'm going to get back up to the super chats. There's one I want to address right away. Okay, Excuse me. So it's JPRPH1, who's a good friend of the channel. I mean, no disrespect about this at all to you, JPRPH1, and I don't know what you look like. Well, I just see like your avatars, so I see you as people. I understand your sentiment completely, but it's not something I agree with. But I know your sentiment, and I know you don't mean anything bad by it. You're totally cool here. It's all good. We live in a world where a white male is more criminal than being a black male. That's no way. And the reason I say I have a unique perspective on this now, like if we keep going down the road we're going right now, and this is allowed to happen, which I think it'll fade away. I think it's a thing that'll fade away, to be honest with you.
Well, do you think
Definitely you could see like, well, hang on. Like in years and years, you can see Dave Cullen did a great video on this. Like they're trying, like you could see more white men turning to crime because of the environment they're in and economics. There's way too many issues I want to get into, but I will say that one of the things I am kind of how do I put this without totally blowing politics? Fuck it, I'll say it. So one of the things that I like I said, there's things. So okay, so I'm active in recovery. So I go to AA and NA meetings, and there's a thing called H&I. So we go into institutions and we give meetings inside there. So one of the things I'm kind of behind is the disproportionate amount of black males in our prisons. And however you feel politically, listen, I'm a very middle of the road guy. Okay, there is a disproportionate amount of black men.
No, they're absolutely
fucking 100%. It's something I see all the time, and it's kind of a cause. So like I'm, like just like my kids' special needs, I'm all about the autism and Autism Speaks. That's kind of a thing I do privately, but honestly it's completely fucked up, and but I know what you're saying. It's like, because if this does continue, again, in relation to the Dave Cullen video where he was talking about trade schools and how they're trying to they're excluding white males for, I think if I'm getting it wrong, Dave, I'm sorry, but they're excluding white males for diversity in trade schools, and then if more white males don't have a place to go, they will go to crime. That's where everybody goes. So if they do this to any person, it's not just white males or black men, black women, Filipino women, if they take away options and single you out and put you in on to a place where the only place you have to go is crime, that's where you go, because you got to eat, and that's what happens. That's society. So it's an economic thing.
Yeah, it very much is. And Josie, I know what you're saying, but a lot of it, the issues for me is the privatization of prisons is a huge
that's
problem.
not something I want to.
Yeah,
there's a lot of problems behind it. There's a lot, but I mean, like mainly, like, listen, prisons are filled with people who are mostly addicted to drugs.
Yeah,
that's mainly true. That's most of the problem right there. There's bad people who should be in there, absolutely, 100%. Believe me, I've seen them. But yeah, I just wanted to say, like, that's something like I totally, did I just
I also used to be a CS major, and I know how screwed up the judicial system is.
Yeah, it is a bummer about my friend's comic book shop. I'm bummed out about it too. Just curious to see what happens as this creeps away. It's up the corporate chain. Eventually, the shareholders are going to have to say they are. The thing is, most of the shareholders are normies, J. Patrick. So they're just seeing bottom line, and they're not really digging into this. But I one of the things I'm considering is buying some stock in these companies so I can actually look at their earnings and maybe get some news, possibly. Like maybe buying some stock in CBS. Thing is, I got so pissed at Disney, I sold their stock. I sold my Disney stock because I had Disney stock because I had Marvel stock, and it rolled over, and it was pretty good. That's why The Expanse is so good. It's well written. Yes, it's
well written. Yeah.
They want to scorch earth. That's right. That's right. Okay, so back to the super chats here. Yeah, that's just what I have to. It's a super chat. I have to address it. Apologies, didn't mean to get too serious there. Gal Gadot, Dominic Tipper, Aubrey Plaza, Cara Gee, super women I would love to emulate, not Brie fucking Larson. There are super women to me. 52,000. Mary Ashby, thank you for the $5. Thank you.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
Brilliant. Brian Smart, $5 from the 35th to 50K. That's right. You were my 35th subscriber, Brian Smart. So you know what? You've been around long enough that you've been around long enough to know you probably listened to my first American Gods recap, where I told a big secret about myself. A big secret about myself that nobody knows. Because it was in relation to that episode. My little neurotics have grown so much. I'm so proud. Wiping a tear from my eye. Keep growing. Congrats, Gary. You're welcome. Yeah. So like if anybody tries to dig up dirt on me for anything, the only thing you can, I've already told pretty much everybody. So there's not much they can do. Just like, I don't know. You did a lot of drugs in the 80s. Yep, I did. I got caught doing them too. I'm done giving all my money. Good stuff. Thanks, Slim Trucker. TK, thank you for your channel. I'm still stunned how Marvel was butchered in Captain Marvel. Exactly, Marvel. Long live Starlin and his creations. Yes. Jim Starlin couldn't have been happy either. I'm sure if they go ask him right now, he's going to go, "Oh, Captain Marvel was wonderful. It was great." But
sure
no, maybe not. Receiving. I don't mean to disrespect Starlin. No, he might not actually. He'll tell it like it is. I take that back. He's always been a straight shooter.
Recently, recently as in last year, in regards to some things that were going down, I guess with the Thanos book, he's been very vocal about his unhappiness.
Captain Marvel is making bank. They're going to use this to greenlight. Yes, Squirrel Girl, Riri Williams, and Lady Thor movies. Kiss the MCU goodbye, just like Marvel Comics. William $9.99. You're right. You're 100% right. And they're going to use this weekend, and they are going to completely ignore next weekend to their peril. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, hold my beer, says Disney.
But will we get Carl Manvers?
Yes. Well, I mean, like, yeah, they're gonna have Brie looking, get the short haircut and everything, and just archive the old comics, Nerdrotic. $1.99. I archive them in my big long box. I understand now. I understand why they haven't been making daily video. You're saving all your energy for the live stream. We already read that. Mellowy. Okay.
Mellowy.
Joan of Arc 33 $9.99. Hello, Neurotic. I don't even use the term feminism anymore since they've twisted the meaning and become anti-masculine and ideology. We need to protect our culture. They're destroying it. Exactly.
I completely agree with that. Completely agree.
The fact that I'm on this train at all should tell you how far they've come. I mean, not a lot of you people know me personally, but really the fact that I'm here and others are too, I'm not the only one, should tell you how much they've overreached on this one. It's really bad. Black Heart B, $10. Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck wrote this atrocity, and they always work together. Check their other works. They're terrible. Why has no one pointed this out? Marvel didn't care for this movie. A lot of people haven't picked on them, and I will check out their other works, but this goes on to what we were talking about earlier, that they just they found a couple of yes people that will save them a ton of money on a movie they truly didn't care about. No, they are happy as can be with what this weekend did for Captain Marvel. They are 100% like, yes, we did it, because they knew they had a giant turd on their hand. That's why they moved the release date twice, and that's why they fit it right in here, even though it makes no sense. Look at the actual movie. The continuity makes no sense.
Yes, it makes no bloody sense.
Mellowy says he was joking, but I don't think he was. $5. Everyone sub to Comics Division. Videos are every once in a while. Joking. It's okay. He knows it. The Price is Right review, $2. Nerdrotic, sup, my Trekkie bro. What's up? What's up, Price is Right review? Did you hear Brianna Wu is calling for the government to step in for censorship for Captain Marvel Backlash? Yes, that is part of my next video.
She's trying to keep herself relevant.
Yeah, the quartering put it best when she was talking. It's like, oh, countdown to when she brings up Gamergate. Do 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 do.
Gamergate. Oh, there we go.
Gamergate. There it is. There it is. So yeah, she's trying to stay relevant, just like what's her name, who was writing I forgot the one who was in Gamergate, who wrote for DC for a minute.
Shit. Zoe Quinn.
Yeah, the audience score is going up. If it's up to 55, yes, it's going up. Because
did her book get canceled?
I know that. Well, didn't the artist get busted?
No, that was Bordertown.
Okay, well, tell you what, maybe I'm premature. It's going to get canceled.
I'm sure it is. It's only a matter of time.
I'm going to the Captain Marvel Rotten Tomatoes.
So what's going on now?
The audience score went up to 55%.
Really now?
Well, if it does, it's at 52.
Okay,
let me refresh. Hang on, let me refresh.
50.
No, it's 55.
55. Yeah. Yep. 79 on the tomato meter.
How does it go up 3% in 2 hours?
Purging of reviews.
Yep. Did anybody get an? Oh shit! I refreshed. I shouldn't have done that.
Should have snapped it. I already got it, dude. I snapped.
Did you snapped it at 52%?
No, not 52. I have it at 53.
I had it at 52%.
I'll snap it.
Son of a bitch. Did anybody get a snap of that? It's at 39,000. No, there's it's added. It was at 33, so it's added 6,000 reviews since I started this live stream. That seems like a lot. Let's go here. It's 55 still sucks.
Just give it time, man. I think they're going to push it to where it's going to be audience approved at some point. I think they're gonna finagle it. I don't at this point. That makes me kind of curious. Will they actually get rid of the audience score, or will they just simply purge it instead? Which seems like it's like the more likely case, that they're gonna purge the bot or troll reviews. I'm using quotes, folks.
Well, the first thing I see is like this cancels the 5-star review. That just says best MCU movie behind Infinity War, and then it's got a female symbol. I mean, that's right up there with this is just the HSJW nonsense. Like those should balance each other out.
Yeah, they should. But I'm also wondering if they're changing, because my understanding, and I could be wrong on this, is that anything lower than a 3 doesn't count. That's what I've heard.
Well, they got to have a flag on them to count. They all have flags. Yeah, I just don't know. I'll screen cap it next time. I seem to remember seeing 33,000 reviews last time I looked at the 52,000 or 52%. I could be wrong on that one. Not the best memory in the world. Not that it really matters. 55% still blows.
Yeah.
This thing is not, if it goes up, if it starts rocketing up, shenanigans straight.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I tell you right now, I have been watching a lot of these percentages for a long time. I've done a ton of videos on these, and believe me, there was people coming in trying to save Doctor Who. Doctor Who moved up to 21%. I don't know how that's even possible, considering it's gotten the vast majority of its latest reviews have been negative, but it's just stayed at 20 and 20% because Rotten Tomatoes is defending it. That's why they can do, they are either deleting videos or they could just leave the thing. I'm sure there's the ability to leave it there and have it not count, even while the flag.
Probably.
I'm sure there is shenanigans. You know what? They're not bound by law. Well, maybe they are. I guess they have to be honest to a certain extent, but hey, who's going to know if they don't get caught?
I think the only way it would happen is if somebody blew the whistle from the inside, but I don't know, man. I don't know what the legal ramifications of that would be. I mean, you know, I don't think it's illegal to be a shill.
Well, the thing is, like, if they start deleting too many audience, they're just gonna, destroy the relevance. And you know, it's a lot of people go there anyway just to kind of get the gist of it. But I mean, I honestly, I don't know how much power it has. But it was the only way to really judge what the audience is. While imperfect as it was, it was the only set place to go where you saw a number where people were putting for after a movie that wasn't some kind of inside information. And listen, we were using it. I think, listen, especially with with Doctor Who, people were using it as a reaction to just the bullshit positive. Because if you read the positive reviews, it wasn't, this show's good. It's a woman, so I'm going to give it a good review, even though the actual show was mediocre to bad. That was the vast majority of the reviews from the critics. So people were just balancing out because they're trying to just balance out perception, truth.
Well, and I have to agree with this. I don't know if you guys watch Clownfish TV, but Geeky made a very good point of you take, all the positive, all the super positive, and all the super negative, and remove that, you basically have what everyone truly thinks.
Yep. Yeah, that's what we were saying earlier. I mean, like but if you take away all the super negative, but leave all the super positive, then you're not getting, and then, but the thing is, then you've broken your trust with the public, and it erodes over time.
Yeah, I already think the public trust has been broken with Rotten Tomatoes, and I think there's no place but down that it's going to go.
Yep. Or as Dave Cullen says, Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes, yes.
Static MM, $20. You don't have to read this one. I'll get back on the wagon sooner or later. The quick personal honesties. Oh, okay, I can't read. The quick personal honesties, Gary, truly make a decent role model. But thanks, Static M. I try to be one for my kids.
Okay, so Tyrone Ranger makes a very good point. It says technically you can get them for false advertising if they're saying that.
But somebody would have to really prove it and push it. And I'll tell you right now, I'm going to state the obvious: the tech industry, they're breaking laws every day, especially here in California. And there's a good argument could be made that there's too many laws here where I live, and there are way too many. Matt Baldwin, $2. Ask Rekieta Law about possible legal ramifications. I'd love to have him on. He's funny. I like him.
He's pretty funny.
He's really good.
I'm kind of curious where he got the nickname, the Blackface Lawyer. I don't know if there was something going on.
That's an unfortunate nickname. Yeah. Okay, let's get back to the chat. Ooh, Secure Team put out a video. Some new UFO stuff. Awesome. Love Secure Team. Scheduled site maintenance. Whatever. So yeah, it's at 52%, folks. I guess I could have showed it, but yeah, you believe me, don't you? I don't want to have that window up forever. And that window up. Okay. What's up, Bad Bunny? Oh, dude, what the hell is going on?
It's the Illuminati. They're shutting us down.
They are, man. No, my chat just went blank again. All right. So where do we go from here? Listen, it's going to have a $150 million weekend probably, which honestly I'm surprised at. I thought it'd be like 120, but it looks like it's like going to have 150. It made 80 million Thursday and Friday. It's going to make a shitload of money. But what does it do next weekend? Where do we go from here? The thing is, it doesn't really matter. Even if this drops 60% comics, I think this
I agree.
Disney to do this marketing.
They will need to have their true Last Jedi moment, which I don't think that Captain Marvel was. Because like I said, in my theater, it wasn't super packed, but there were people clapping and cheering, thought it was a great movie. I mean, again, these were all normies. I think once we get a true Marvel movie that is filled with identity politics is where it's going to tank.
It is. And We talk about this a lot, and we wonder, well, why is this important? Well, oh, hi, Mark Lazarth. It's very important to me, and I don't really feel the need I have to explain myself to anybody, but it's the bigger picture that's important. I mean, honestly, I could give two shits about Captain Marvel and how well I wanted it to be good.
Yeah, same here.
But it's a larger, I mean, because I just don't want another 4 years of this. Because I mean, yeah, I will eventually dip out, and I don't want to have to dip out on the MCU. I really don't. Like, no, I'm not going to make Captain Marvel videos for 3 years. Hell no. There's a point where I'm just going to go, fine, okay, you guys, there you go. You win. You got a shitty movie. Rock on. And yeah, but and I just don't want it getting to everything. Okay, a great example of this comics division is, and this isn't really politics. It was more invaded by Time's Up and an overcorrection to make strong, which is kind of what Captain Marvel is too. But Westworld season 2 and Game of Thrones season 7. Not a lot of people talk because it's been a couple years, and at the time when it came out, it really wasn't happening that much, and it doesn't seem that obvious. But go watch Game of Thrones season 7 again. Well, if you could sit through it, and Westworld season 2, and look at how different these are. They're different shows. They're completely different shows from what they started out as. And I don't want this to happen to The Expanse or anything else I watch. I'm tired of it. And it was, I mean, like, it just derailed Westworld. Like a great show, it completely derailed it. And honestly, Game of Thrones had other problems too. It wasn't just the all female council they had in the beginning, which was like, and the sand snakes and how stupid that was. And I won't get into it, but it was just, and the way they led up to it. And they said they purposely wanted to lead up to it to have the all female war council. And it was like, so you destroyed the whole Dorne storyline so you could make a political point in the beginning of season 7. Great. Now, fortunately, one of them ended up getting taken down to the dungeon and tortured by Cersei because she should have been, because she turned against her lord and was lame, but whatever. Westworld season 2, like, just stopped making sense. And then they just OP'd all the women, and it's now a sci-fi Western with no cowboys. So whatever. Yeah, it's and the thing is, it's like they're trying to get it out of the way. It's like, we have to do this. We just got to get it out of the way. So we're not going to think that hard to try to actually make it presentable as a story for people, or they just don't care. They think the people who will be mad about this are bad people and they should be gone anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much it. I think they're doing it for the political agenda, and all who don't like it be damned, I think is what their thing is. It's an overcorrection. I don't know. I'm not terribly optimistic. I hope that things get back to normal again, where we can have just good shows with good characters, be it male or female again. I don't know, dude.
I think it could happen, but it just won't be in the places we think. I think it'll be more independent.
Yeah. I think a lot of this stuff comes off as indoctrination. So the more it's in entertainment, the more you can indoctrinate people to this type of ideology.
Oh yeah. So real quick, we'll share that article, the wrap. I'm going to skim it, okay, because I've been teasing it forever, but we pretty much said everything that's in it. But it's just Kevin Feige, what he's talking about moving forward. He said, when making Captain Marvel, Marvel Studios boss Captain Marvel, I mean, like, listen, by themselves in a vacuum, there's nothing wrong with these things. Says it was critical that the film has a female voice behind the camera. Great, whatever. The problem is they had a guy there too, particularly because the film,
but she was in charge, though.
Okay. And listen, that's and I don't know why. I'm not going to blame her. You blame Disney. Why everything looked cheaper in this film? Why Lee Pace looked terrible?
Yeah, I noticed that too. I thought he looked horrible as Ronan.
He looked like he was cosplay Ronan. And like,
yeah,
go back and look at the Ronan from Guardians of the Galaxy, where he looks formidable, and they just made him look like a clown.
Yeah, he really did. I mean, that was like the first thing I noticed was like, why does he not look badass? Did they get another actor? And it's like, no, it's the same dude.
It's Lee Pace.
Yeah.
So basically what Kevin says is like, this is the way things are. this is what's going to happen from here on out. So, hopefully not everything does this. And there are good things out there. We can talk about, like I said, Doom Patrol, very good show. Very good show. Yes, it's behind a paywall. It's on DC Universe, but there's a show called Swamp Thing coming out too that has some very good people behind it. And they're going for a hard R on that one. That's going to be great too. So DC Universe might be, honestly, right now, if Disney started in DC, I would stick with my DC Universe. I've seen every damn thing Disney I want to see. I'm not the biggest Disney fan, as you can see. Wasn't before. I'm not wasn't into I like Disneyland. I lived near it when I was a kid, so I went there a lot, but that was it. I mean, I like Warner Brothers cartoons better. I always thought Universal Studios was more of a more fun place to go. The rides aren't as good, but I mean, Disneyland's cool, but I mean, I could I don't think I'll ever go back.
Yeah.
I've been there a million times and I don't want to pay $2,000 to be in a crowded Star Wars land with no new characters that I can't get into.
Well, the other thing too, I think that we're seeing coming out of Phase 4 is an overcorrection as well, because honestly, let's be honest, they should have had a female-led movie already. Black Widow should have already had a movie. I personally would like to see a She-Hulk movie. That would be great. But yeah, they're kind of overcorrecting right now.
They're majorly overcorrecting. Big Cat, $20. Have we talked about YouTube censorship yet? Well, no, I was going to talk about it in my next video, but I'll go over it briefly. Thank you for $20. I will go over it. Okay. Vin Vega, 420, brah. 420. No message. Okay. So the YouTube censorship thing, I looked into it. I'm doing a video on it, and it was basically when it comes to Captain Marvel. Now, you guys know I'm not a YouTube critic. I'm very grateful that I have a platform here, and they've been pretty cool to me. That I've never really had major problems with them or anything. But it is clear that when you search Brie Larson, that they stack it with what's called authorized news, authoritative news. Now, this is an article by The Verge. YouTube has come out and said 0. I don't know how much I necessarily believe it. So I searched Brie Larson and I searched Captain Marvel. And yeah, the first 6 or 7 things that came up were ABC and stuff. But then I saw Geeks and Gamers and everybody. So they weren't being erased. Verge put out an article saying they essentially got rid of the problem. And what they did is they lied. And what they're doing is they're trying to maybe discourage us, or maybe they just want to tell people what they think they want to hear. But guess what, Verge? We're still showing up when you search Brie Larson and Captain Marvel. We're not the top search, but some of those places have 3 million views too. You got to consider that.
Yeah, definitely. Because I searched for Captain Marvel and Captain Marvel reviews. I'm like, no, this seems pretty normal to me. I don't know what's going on. But
now, are they going to start silencing us more? Yes, they're going to try it at every turn. I think what YouTube probably does is they're like, shit, because listen, you have they're a giant corporation, but Google is not afraid of Disney. If there's any company that's not afraid of Disney, it is Google. They could give 2 craps what Disney thinks. And so they're not going to get intimidated by Disney, and they're not going to lose billions, or let's just say multi-millions off of, and that's the kind of money, like if you lump together, say 10 of the bigger Fandom Menace channels, they're making multi-millions off the advertising money.
Probably.
Yeah. Oh,
well, part of my concern is
well, Jeff has 1 million views on one of it. You get 1 million views on they're like, there's millions involved just in that group. Now, the Fandom Menace isn't making that. No, not at all. But
no. Yeah.
YouTube is making that, and they're not going to shut that down. But I think they're playing both sides. I think we'll just put 5 on above them, and we'll just put them down in the search. Which I don't
know, dude. I am concerned about them using the fake news thing as a way to silence certain voices.
Oh, certainly, but they're not using that right now.
Not yet, but
that's what I'm talking about. I mean, as far as down the road, that would be suicide for them. No, you know what? Those freaking UFO and conspiracy videos, they make millions off of those. I could argue they make just as much off of those as they do the authorized news. Go look at some of the view counts on some of those conspiracy videos. They make bank. So you're taking away your bank. Now, Google's in a position to probably burn money, I'm sure. But those shareholders that we were speaking of earlier will want an explanation for it. So we'll see. What's up, Jack Random? Yes, I'm here. $2. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Yes, I'm concerned every day that we're going to get shut down, and that's why, I'm just going to enjoy this ride while it lasts, because it will not last forever.
Nothing lasts forever.
Nothing does. Nothing does. Let's get to the chat. How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Here's a comment I want your opinion on. So Blackscape is saying MCU movies, Captain Marvel is better than Black Panther, Ant-Man 1 and 2, Thor 1 and 2, Iron Man 2 and 3, Captain America 1, Avengers 2, Hulk. Let's keep it real.
Wow, that was way too fast for me. Say that again. Okay.
Sorry. MCU movies, Captain Marvel is better than Black Panther, Ant-Man 1 and 2, Thor 1 and 2, Iron Man 2 and 3, Captain America 1, Avengers 2, and Hulk. Let's keep it real.
Captain Marvel is better than all those movies?
Yeah.
No way.
No.
No. It's not even. I would put it down with the Hulk movie, which I would probably still get some enjoyment out of. Which, I mean, admittedly is pretty terrible, but wow, hell no. I'd put it with Ant-Man, with the Wasp and Ant-Man. I didn't like that movie. I like Ant-Man 1 better than Thor 1 and 2. It's not better than Thor 1. No way in hell. And it's not better than any Captain America movie.
No, hands down.
It's not better than Age of Ultron. Listen, Age of Ultron, besides, you take away the middle scene, it's a good movie. It's got lots of stuff going on I like. It just drags in the middle.
And it gets a little too CGI schlocky at the end, but I think it's all right. It's not bad.
If I thought Captain Marvel was good, I would tell you. I have no agenda. I have an opinion. I was hard on the movie because it fulfilled some of the promises that it made. It said it was going to be a feminist movie, and it was.
Yep.
That wasn't as bad as I thought.
They definitely kept their promise there. But a lot of it is that the fight scenes were very bland and paint by the numbers. Taking the whole feminism thing out of the equation. Captain Marvel was way overpowered versus the individual she was fighting. If they had another cosmic level entity that she was fighting, it would have made a lot more exciting because there was absolutely no stakes. That's like the biggest issue with this movie.
Yeah. The third act ruined the film. I'd have a totally different opinion of it. With the second act is boring. The first act was good. There was something going on.
Yeah.
There was actually interaction with the characters, but then it's like it was directed by somebody different. It was written by somebody different. The Jude Law's scene, Jan Rog's scene at the very end, when he's like,
it's terrible.
Okay, I'm so proud of you. Okay, let's fight like men. Just don't use your powers and we'll fisticuffs, and that was like dumb. And it made it a silly cartoon. Listen, there's people who enjoyed the movie. That's cool. I know there's some people who are enjoying it to be contrarians. That's cool. Enjoy it for whatever reason you want. And there's some people who are not enjoying it to be contrarians. It's not a good movie, in my opinion, but I think I could probably lay out a pretty good case why it technically is not a good movie. I think there's a lot of evidence that it provides that it's not a well-made film.
Yeah.
And believe me, all I have to do is wait. Listen, there's crappy movies that I admit to liking, but I know they're crap.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance. I love that movie. It's a
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. Giant turd. Con Air is a turd that a lot of people like, but it's a turd. Captain Marvel is not good. You can enjoy it, but it's not good. And we'll just we're all still here in 3 years. Come and see me. And I bet your opinion will change if you like it. You'll time is all the hubbub will have died down and you just look at it as a movie and you go, it's kind of like going back and watching that cartoon you watched as a kid that you loved so much. And then you see it with adult eyes and you're like,
Even the Shield Media backtracked on Doctor Who. Like after it was over.
Yeah.
Even then they were like, yeah, it wasn't that good after all.
Yep. They
All
finally,
right.
yeah, they put down their like they took their white knight armor off, put it in the closet, and realized it was a shitty show. You're right. You're 100% right on that one. Back to that chat. Con Air was awesome. I love Con Air. I could watch it right now. Don't
Nick
use
Cage is so-
Amazon. I use Amazon. I know, like, listen, I hate it. Amazon did something very bad to comic stores a few years ago, and I remember that. So they had people, they were incentivizing people to go in and use their scanner apps on their phone to scan products in somebody else's store, and they would match the price and give you a discount, but then they would get data from that store. So it forced me to tell people to don't take your cell phone out in my store and don't take a picture of anything, which I am Mr. like, you can do anything except use the bathroom in here. And then, of course, if you're a subscriber, you were allowed, that was part of your subscriber privileges, you were allowed to use the bathroom. There's a reason in San Francisco you can't just let anybody use the bathroom. Trust me. You end up with hypos in there.
Yeah.
And it's just really bad. They kept telling, those two things. Okay. They kept telling Carol to control her emotions. Why? She had none. And then
that's a very good point.
And then Wep brought this up in his video. I like to give people credit when I hear something first that I totally agree with. That Nick Fury checking under the blanket to look at the screes.
Oh,
or the scrolls.
The scroll peen, yeah.
The scroll wiener. Dudes don't do that. I know maybe that seems like an interpretation of something like women think we do. Like every time we walk in a room, we whip it out and compare. We do not do that, especially a dead alien. I mean, that's the first thing Nick Fury's going to do. Nick Fury.
Yeah. I mean,
for one, he's a shapeshifter. I would think he could make it whatever size he wants it. So,
yeah, that scene right there, I was just like, what the fuck?
That's
so dumb.
Again, no judgment, just as the straight white male.
White.
The last thing I want to see is a Johnson. The last.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah.
Didn't think much of Last Jedi, but the score was decent. The score was decent to Last Jedi. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's lots of No, the music in it was actually pretty good. It was better than The Force Awakens. I agree. Big Trouble in Little China, turd, but I will polish that turd all day. It is, I mean, it's a B movie, but it's in my top 10 all time. Big Trouble in Little China is fucking brilliant. Bathroom privileges, friendly stores, or customer for life stuff. There you go, Static M. Yes. The only reason I didn't let everybody use the bathroom, well, it's late. I don't want to, I caught somebody. Okay. So I had the store for 1 week. And somebody's in my bathroom and he's in there for a long time. And I'm like, oh, this dude's doing drugs in there. Okay. So I'm like, get out, dude. Come on, man. I got to go. I got to pee. So he's like, oh, okay. I'm like, oh, shit. Can't even form a sentence. Oh, God. Okay. So I gave him a few more minutes, got on the phone, got off the phone, went back there. Okay, dude, you got to get out. Got to get out. I'm like, dude, I'm going to open this door. And, there was a lock on it, but I had the key, of course. So I opened the door and he was, twisting the muse. We'll say that he was twisting the muse to, some of the adult comics that I had on the very top shelf, when I first bought the store. So, he had to get out. I told him to get out, and thank God nobody was in the effing store.
Oh my God.
Tell him to pull his pants. I mean, he's like, can I pull my pants? Oh no, dude, you're going to stand up. You're going to pull your effing pants up and you're going to get out right now. And you can keep the comic, by the way. you can keep the comic. As soon as he walked out the door, I took all the adult comics and I threw them in the trash and they never entered my store again.
Wow, dude,
Yep.
that's so crazy. I was about to ask you, was he basically jerking it to porn? But yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So and luckily my son wasn't there because he was there an hour before, and his mom picked him up for school or after school because he used to come to my because the school is across the street, so he'd come to the store and then go home. Is this a spoiler discussion? No. Yes, this happened in the movie. Yeah. No, Tales from the Comic Shop. Yeah, San Francisco. Man.
I would be definitely more concerned about people shooting up because
Vlad Riot. So he won. Yeah, I mean he walked out of there with a comic book. Yeah, the bad guy won on that one. But what the hell?
seriously, what's wrong with people, man? It's like you can't pay like the $5 and take it home and do that there. You gotta do it in the store.
So and like it was one of those situations where when I first saw him, he looked pretty. I mean, like it's not like he was a homeless guy. So, but he sounded like one once I started talking to him. So he didn't look like one. I think he was just a weird guy. And so what I found out later is 2 doors down from my store, there was a medical facility that tests drugs. So every Friday at between 12 and 2:30, they would give people $30 to $40 and test them with some drug. I mean, it's for whatever reasons, right? And that brought the best of the best from San Francisco to my neighborhood every Friday.
San Francisco's
finest from 12 to 12:30. And this place is like effing crazy anyway. So just think crazier than crazy. Yeah. And they pop into the store and I learned how to deal with them. You learn, but like anybody who's lived in a big city, there's a crazy element, right? Well, just dial it up to 11 here, and that's the way it is.
Well, the great part about California is they're shipping their crazy all over the world, man. It's like you're finding them in Portland now and in Austin.
Well, we stopped giving homeless people cash. Like we were doing that for a while, so that's why it was a huge problem.
I was referring to Californians.
oh, actual Californians. There's no difference. Well, yeah. They're. I know. Why did they go to Austin?
That was the 90s, dude, because it was jokingly referred to as little San Francisco for a while back in the mid 90s.
Oh, wasn't there a whole movement to keep Austin weird or something like that?
Well, yeah. Well, that definitely came about because of the California infestation. And I don't think Austin was hit nearly as hard as maybe Portland.
Portland's like off the chain now.
Oh my God. My brother lives in Portland, and I visited him a few years ago, and we're driving around, and there's like tent cities everywhere because of what happens. The Californians come in, they buy up land that's for sale, properties that are rental properties. They kick out the locals by jacking up the rent, and they rent to more Californians because the Californians are trying to escape the high cost of living in California, and unfortunately that's driving up the cost of living everywhere else. It's happening now in
surrounding
Utah.
areas. It's happening in Utah. Yeah, I just heard that. My Melissa's cousin's house just went up. So, but real quick, let's get back. Yes, there's the Poop Patrol in San Francisco. That's a real thing. And honestly, I don't go down. I mean, I was last night. It was Mrs. Nerdotic's birthday, and I went to a place called the SF Chapel, which is it's on Valencia, so it's in the Mission. And it's actually a really cool venue. So Peter Murphy, the former lead singer of Bauhaus, was there for a 17-show residency. Wow. 2 shows a night for like 2 weeks. And he's just playing his solo stuff. So no Bauhaus or anything, which is great because I love his solo stuff. I heard, Cut You Up in Indigo.
Oh, that's a great song. I love it.
Oh, it was so good last night. And what he did, it was a perfect so there were a bunch of geriatric goths. There,
yes.
Right. And it was a perfect goth show. He started right at 8 o'clock. He played his whole album and then 3 other songs for an encore. It was done before 11 o'clock. We were actually 10:30. The show was over. It was an hour and a half. It was perfect. It was fucking perfect. And the bars had Americanas and they were giving me free Americanas because I wasn't drinking. So I was like jacked up on coffee and watching Peter Murphy. And it was So fun. It was so good. But San Francisco's fucking nuts. It's crazy. It's dirty. It's got poop all over it. And that's the first time I've been downtown at night in probably 7 months. Like, I don't go anywhere. I go to movies, but I go to Daly City. So yeah, I do very little in San Francisco. I know this sounds like, yeah, big rock star here. No. I live stream. This is way more fun than going downtown and stepping on human poop and doing whatever.
Dude, I went to go see Ministry back in December, and that was actually disappointing.
Really? That sucks.
Well, it's like I know
the guitar player is still gone, right? Like, I forgot his name now. They had a big
got woke, dude. He got super.
Oh no,
woke.
I was thinking of Mission UK. Ministry. Oh, did he?
Ministry.
Oh God. Yeah, I was thinking Mission UK. I don't know why.
Yeah. It was pretty funny. Like his entire new album is very political, anti-Trump, and then it was pretty funny when they got for the encore set. He's like, "Okay, guys, I know why you're really here," and they played old stuff.
Yep. Well, that's to be expected for Ministry, though. I mean, like,
yeah, it is.
You think they would flip the chain on that one, though, because like at least Jello Biafra, he hates everybody. That's why I like Jello. Yeah, I heard the words "fuck Obama" come out of his mouth, so I'm like, that's very consistent with
that's Jello.
Okay, so Vin Vega, yes, I guess I have to tell the story. What time is it? Fuck, it's late. Whatever. I promised I'd do this. I was gonna like make it a big part of it, but so okay. So the reason I had to close the comic store, I've been promising this forever on the channel. And then we'll get to some of your chat. Okay, so it's okay. So the reason I closed the comic store was not for SJW Marvel or Diamond Comics. Actually, the store was doing really well. Hang on, let me get something to drink. Some crappy, what is that? Krispy Kreme coffee. I'm the only guy who like goes to, yeah, it was just the closest place to get that had coffee. I wasn't near a Pete's. It sucks.
Fair enough, man.
So okay, so the reason the comic store had to close down was because of me. So what happened is, this is a great story, and I actually like telling this story in my meetings, my AA meetings and my NA meetings, because it's a story of relapse and how we relapse. So prior to me moving to San Francisco, I was clean and sober. So I was clean and sober for many years, from 1991 till very recently, actually, till 2012. I fell off the wagon. That's why I lost my store. So things were going really great. Life was great. Things were successful. My store was successful. I was making $100,000 a year at the store. I was doing great. Things were awesome. It's really bad for an addict, though, because I stopped going to meetings. I didn't have my sponsor anymore. Really, just a lot of shit started going to my head, and I started working too much. So I wasn't like, and this is like while my kids are growing up. So this isn't a funny story at all. Believe me, trust me. And so I'm overworked. And then 2000, but things are going great. So it's all related to this. 2008 hits. This is prior to me relapsing, by the way. So I'm still sober at this time. 2008 hits, and the economy takes a shit. And it's like overnight, people stop buying comics. Like literally, it's just like everything dried up. I'm like, fuck. So I took another job. That's when I took the job at Technicolor. But before I took this job, I had to go to school for it, because like I knew how to do this stuff, but I had to have some kind of certificate. So I paid $10,000, went to San Francisco State to their adult program and did an editing class, got a certificate, went down. It was my friend, my co-host John, went to that school too. It's a really great thing. It's called a digital video intensive. And you basically take all the theory out of the school and you do all the practical stuff. So they just put a camera in your hand and they show you how to do stuff. And it worked. It really worked. So I got a job at Technicolor. And yeah, so I did that job. But the thing is, it was down in LA and I was coming home every weekend and I was driving because I hate flying. So I did that for 2 years.
It's a long fucking drive, dude.
So yeah, I worked at a comic store on the weekend, and then during the week I worked at Technicolor, and I saw my kids for like 2 minutes. I saw my wife for 2 minutes. Did that for 2 years. Damn near broke me, my relationship with my wife. My kids didn't know who I was anymore. So I was super burnt out. So I finally quit Technicolor because like things were getting better at the comic store around 2010, 2011, and things were good for a long time. But one thing led to another. I mean, we don't need to get into details or anything, but yeah, I started up. Felt like it was a really great idea to start taking up drugs again. Now, what happened was this is very sad, by the way. I was hanging up. I mean, I think it's kind of funny now, but when you hear the story, so I'm hanging up before I put all the toys on the walls. I'm hanging up a banner, a big Superman Returns banner at the time, and I just needed something to cover some space on the wall, and I had a big Superman Returns banner. Shitty movie. But so I'm in a ladder, I'm climbing up the ladder, and I'm going to put this thing up. And as I'm coming down the ladder, it's one of those foldy ladders. It folds right on my hand. Poof. And takes my thumb and makes my thumb like that thin. It crushes my thumb. Fucking, I've had bones broken. Like, I've had horrible injuries. This hurt the most of anything because pain subsides on a lot of stuff. That pain was not subsiding because all the blood was getting trapped under the nail. So I had to run to the emergency room, and my thumb started puffing up to like really
dude.
like Willy Wonka blueberry size. And then they had to drill a hole in the thumb and the squirt. So they gave me pain medication. I'm not supposed to take pain medication. I can't take, as a sober person, I can't touch it. So like, that's where right now with like the back thing, it fucking sucks, but that's life. It's what happens. So they gave me some pain medication, off to the races, man. They gave me 10 Vicodin, boom, off to the races. Then I'm like, within a year, I'm doing fucking coke. I'm doing everything. And so what is that? How's it go? Comics division. Cocaine is God's way of showing you have too much money.
Yeah.
So I did. And that's, by the way, if people were wondering why I'm telling this story, I promised to tell this story actually at 10,000 and I didn't. So I'm telling it at 50,000. So I go back down to 10,000 probably after the story, but that's the way it goes. Believe me, this isn't the darkest thing in my life either. So yeah, but everybody knows this. This is, believe me, public record. Actually, me selling the comic shop made it into Bleeding Cool. If you search it, there's an article about me having financial troubles. Yeah, it's because I was fucking snorted all the money. And dude, and kept it secret from my for a little while. Now, this all happened in a very short, the relapse was like a pretty short amount of time. So while the store was crashing and burning, I went to a rehab to try to get cleaned up. It didn't really take. Came back, and then I just made the decision, which was one of the better ones of my life, even while I was high at the time. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to keep this store going. It's like I got to pick my family or the store, and if I stay at the store, I'll probably keep doing drugs and die, or I should pick my family. So Brian came into the picture, and at the time he didn't know what the hell was going on, but he's like, hey, I don't want the store to close. He offers to buy it. And at that point, I was willing to take any price for it. Got a good price for it. And I sold it to him. That way it kept the store there for the people who had been going to that store. That store has actually been there for prior to me. It was, I bought it from somebody. So it's actually been in that location almost 30 years.
Wow.
So he bought it. He did a decent job with it. I mean, listen, I had built that place on energy, on customer service and energy. So the whole thought of it was we all sell the same shit at comic stores. Now, my comic store was different in San Francisco because everybody in San Francisco has got to be an edgelord. So I'm like, I am going to do the most fucking comic book superhero primary colors, normie comic shop. And it stood out so much from everybody else's because everybody, there's James that's got the comic book lounge, and Mission Comics and Arts is the comic book and art store. And Brian is like he's like a used bookstore, a bookstore. He's really good at what he does. And then there's like Cards and Comics Central, which is like overpriced everything. And the closest thing to mine was Amazing Fantasy, but he's like a really small store. So I had a big space. I focused on comic books. That's it. Toys and comic books. I didn't do games. I didn't do anything else. I wasn't super connected with comic book artists at the time. So I'm like, screw it. I want those type of events. I'll do fan friendly events. I'll do kids' birthday parties and TV viewing parties. And it became like a fun place to hang out. It became like a club where I had couches there. But I genuinely, every day I worked in the last few years, there were people in the store all the time. There was, 10, 15, 20 people there all the time. Doesn't happen anymore. But on Wednesdays, I had lines out the door. The place was packed. It was happening. And it all went to my head and turned to shit. And yeah. So moral to that story is somebody can you're actually more likely to relapse in celebration than in anything else, and when life is good. That's why I'm very mindful now. So I go to more meetings now than I did 2 months ago. I go to 3 meetings a week. I talk to my sponsor once a day. It sucks being an addict. Fucking sucks. But that's the way it goes, man. So you live with it. And I don't go to bars. I used to, in my sobriety, I used to be comfortable going to bars and hanging out with my friends and not drinking. I don't do that anymore. I don't even fuck around anymore. So, yeah. So that's the story. There's another story that's even darker than that we'll save for another day. Sorry you had to sit through that, Comics to Me.
Oh no, dude, it's cool. I mean, I already knew most of it anyway. So
yeah, you knew.
So really quickly, Mello E is saying, specifically asking me, but I'll ask you this too, because I know you have a certain book. He says, will you do reviews for CG books? I do have a few. I thought about it. I know that we both have Jawbreakers. I think what we should do is
I don't know where to put mine, or I pull it out right now. Are you going to do one? Because I'll do one if you do one.
I think honestly, dude, if you want to do a stream, we could both just review.
Yeah, why don't we do that? But I want to kind of, I mean, who knows when Cyberfrog's going to come out? But again, that's no shade on you, EVS. Listen,
yeah.
Here's how I look into doing Indiegogo things. That if I get them, cool. If I don't, it's like loaning somebody money.
That's my feeling on it too. I don't expect to get anything back.
But what EVS is doing is look at the art on his. I bought I can't reach it right now, but I bought some EVS stuff today at that comic store. I bought an absolute Green Lantern Rebirth. And I also got the Jeff Johns Green Lantern Omnibus, which has EVS's work in it, which is fucking beautiful. And honestly, he's like one of my favorite artists before he was on YouTube. Yeah. But
love him, hate him. The dude,
take your time.
Amazing artist.
Yeah, take your time on the book, because I know, you know what? I have no doubt in my mind that he will come out with the book. It's the other people who with the Indiegogo, it became really clear that they weren't ever coming out with the book. You could, EVS shows his work every day, all the time. So, I mean, he doesn't need me to defend him, but take your time, dude. I'm good. Jawbreakers came out, and honestly, I haven't read it yet, but the mail-in art looks fucking fantastic.
I flipped through it. It was pretty fun. I didn't realize that he also had the first 2 issues of Jawbreakers, and I was like, dude, what the hell is up with this art? Oh, it's not John Malin. Okay, that makes sense. It was I was flipping through the beginning, and I was like, damn, this art's amazing. And I started getting to the back. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I missed where it transitioned to a different book.
You know what I felt like doing for a troll job is maybe doing a pop-up here in San Francisco and calling it Comicsgate. And just selling Indiegogo books. See what happens.
Oh my God. That was
probably not coming back to comic retailing anyway, so fuck it. Let's
dude, you might be driven out of San Francisco.
Maybe. Hey, I mean, I'm surprised to see that a lot of my old customers and stuff watch, and they don't talk in the chat, but they should. And I thought a lot of people who I thought would not be happy with what I've been saying have been very happy with what I'm saying. So that's encouraging. Let's get to some of the super chats here.
Okay, go for it.
Sorry, guys. Jack, random $5. You need to find one of the other top 5 commenters and then call yourselves the Sinister Six. Great conversation tonight, by the way. We support you. Thanks, Jack.
Yes,
You're
thank you.
awesome. I like the Sinister Six. That's good.
Yeah.
LOE, spoiler, Avengers are destined to lose an endgame due to Thanos transitioning to a female. Infinity Gauntlet and identity politics. Yep.
Did you see the Transformers video on YouTube? Oh my god, that's so hilarious.
I gotta watch that.
Also, I see some things popping up about Robotech. I no live action, in my opinion. Keep Robotech anime or anime-ish.
Yeah, I mean, part of the appeal of it is it was like when I watched that live action Star Blazers movie that they made in Japan. It's like, I mean, it was cool for a second, but
Well, first off, a movie can't do an entire series justice. That's
no, to do a TV show, but then you have to like what anime, when they start adapting more and more of it, they really need to work out getting that style down to live action, which I don't know if you ever can, to be honest with you. I mean, that's
and I'm seeing, and yes, Robotech the movie by summer 2022. God, I hope not.
But how do you like how does it not look like a GI Joe or Transformer? It depends who does it, and honestly, yeah. By the way, I saw somebody ask if I was going to San Diego Comic-Con. Yes, I will be there. We're gonna do nerdotic stuff down there. Lots of nerdotic stuff. It'll be fun. I am from Cali, born and raised, was in the military for 8 years, been all over the world, seen San Diego, go to a whole seeing San Diego go to oh hell, I'm go to a hole is a kick in the nuts. Our homeless pop is unreal. Yeah. I think we sent them all from here. Man, thanks. You failed 2323. Yeah, it got so bad in San Diego. I remember I was down there last year for con, and Hep C was going around. Like a bunch of people got hepatitis from stuff going around the street. Static MM, $20. This is not a reward. This is in the basket. Oh, this is in the basket. Thank you. I can relate to how you feel. 50K story. Fudge, dude. The money spent on booze, drugs, and ladies of the night. Nicely put, brother. Nicely put. We'll save the next one for 100K. Thanks, man. I will save that one for the basket, to be honest with you. I will pass that on to the basket. By the way, yeah, I go to the Gratitude Center in San Francisco, California. It is on 7th and Irving, and it is a wonderful place, man. They have meetings there around the clock. Sir Cabbage Knight, $5. Hey, Gary, it's Jonathan from the comment. What's up, dude? See, I ask and they come. See, what is up, Jonathan? I just went to Two Cats to collect my comics from the box. It's so sad to see another story go. What's up, Jonathan? Hey, were you there today? Like, cause I just got back from there, and hang on. This is what Logan pulled. Dude, you got to see what my kid is freaking brilliant with his comics now. Look what he picked out. He picked out some Keon Hulk. I had these comics, but I don't know if I'm going to let him read that. Classic. This is the good Deadpool right here. Some Sandman. And then you got Crisis on Multiple Earths 1 through 5. How brilliant is that?
Nice.
And then, he also got Nightfall. And then I got this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. That's weird, Jonathan. I was just there a couple hours ago. Oh, by the way, I have a PO box. But yeah, like it's on the channel and on the website. I can't remember the address right now. Thanks for sharing your story, dude. You're welcome. 420 Vin Vega waving that pot symbol in my face. No, I'm just kidding. I don't care. I never liked pot. I was never a pot guy. I liked stuff that made you go fast and booze. The DJ D show. What's up, man? My friendly moderator with his own channel, $2. Congrats on 50K. Enjoy the 50K meme I sent you. Oh, I'm gonna have to look. Is it on Twitter? Is it on the Twitters? Hang on.
You have to pull that up if it is.
I'm gonna have to. Well, as long as it's proper. Sorry, I was reading somebody's tweet. Bulls Trek. Subscribe to Bulls Trek. He's cool. Where is it, DJ? Did you just send it? Is it in the moderator thread? Dun, 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 dun. I can't see where you sent it. Sorry for that silence there. Alita Battle Angel. Oh, Professor Geek just put out a video too. You should subscribe to him as well. All right, let's get back to the chat here. Oh, whoa. Okay, Jilton Burrow, $5. The Yamoto movie used a bad ending. The anime actually retconned out of existence because of negative audience reaction. Really? I didn't know that, Joel. Wow. And I love Star Blazers. My super chat was deleted, but I said, thanks for sharing, Gary. And then I said an AA quote. Did it get deleted? I didn't even see it. Oh, it got deleted. Thanks for sharing. Keep on keeping on. I saw it there. It's still there. $2. Did I miss it? I must have missed it. I'm sorry. Yeah, my favorite. Well, it's not a saying, but progress, not perfection. That's kind of how I roll. My favorite saying is actually pretty dark, Comics Division, because it's a line from a Doors song.
What's that?
The future's uncertain and the end is always near.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. I wonder if I missed any more. Sir Cabbage Knight, by the way, that's John from the Comic Outpost. That's cool.
My favorite quote is, "I drank what?"
I drink. Okay.
I'm glad you caught it.
Oh. I got it. Okay. So that was that. Yeah. When am I going to tell the other story? That's going to have to be a super secret. You're just going to have to catch that one live because the other story is like pretty gnarly. It's really gnarly, but it's also a good thing I should tell on the channel because I honestly don't care who knows anymore. And, but it would be funny if somebody tried to blackmail me with it. It'd be hilarious. $4.99 super chat from Daryl Rayner. Congratulations on 50K. Thank you so much, Daryl. I appreciate it, man. It's been fun tonight. But
it certainly has.
We're going to wrap things up because you've been on for 3 hours and I've been on for 3 hours, and that's usually over my time. So I hope you all had a good time. I didn't really talk much about Doom Patrol or freaking Orville, so I'll probably have to take that out of the title. But is there it is. What? Oh, damn it. Hang on. Get 100K from fine. I'll share it. Hang on.
Oh, hey, sorry, I've forgotten, man. I saw someone say in the comment. I just looked it up on IMDb. I don't see anything on there, so I don't think there's an actual movie. Sorry,
of what? Of Robotech?
Yeah, of Robotech.
Nah, there probably there will be.
I hope
there
not.
will be. Only 50K. Oh, but is there private messages in there? Let me see. Oh, Jody just talking shit about some people. It's fine. Only 50K. Get 100K for my respect. You guys got my respect. Are you kidding me? Thanks, DJ. There's Penn Farm Girl with the thumbs up there. Wow. Yeah, it's been fun tonight. Yeah, I've been looking forward to this live stream. I love live streaming with Comics Division. Hey, dude, plug your wares a little bit, by the way, and then put a link in the description too.
All right. So hopefully by now you guys realize my name's Comic Division. And I will send you a link to my channel as well as to my Twitter's account as soon as I freaking find my crap here. Woefully unprepared, unfortunately.
That's okay.
Yeah. But if you just search for Comics Division, you can find me that way too. Or I can just drop a link. So first thing I have ready here is Twitter. So I will send that. Damn, there we go. All right. And let me get the fun YouTube channel. Any day now. And somebody will probably beat me to it. There we go. All right, there we go.
Nice. How many subs you got now?
Well, let's see here. More than I had the last couple of days. I am up to 787 now.
Oh, that's good.
It is good. I have officially crossed 100 new subs in the last few days, which is probably more growth I've seen in a very, very long time.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So I guess we did okay on the live stream today. It's weird that I hate not being able to see the numbers. I poke in and watch, but it's also good. It's a good thing because like it's not affecting the conversation because you got to talk how you talk. Yeah, this is really cool.
No, I've been keeping an eye on it. We've been hovering around over 1,000, but it's
Yeah, well, I
under.
said we're gonna leave.
Yeah.
And that usually, hey, but yeah, if we can get you up to 1,000 subs, that'd be cool. I
Yeah,
think
that
that'd be
would be
really
great.
cool. So yeah, it looks like it's going up already. And where we go with the Captain America, I think Captain Marvel will be very interesting to see how things go next week. I have 2 videos in the can ready to go. One I've just been sitting and waiting on because it doesn't really matter when it comes out. The article's super old, but I owe you guys a Doctor Who video. And it's pretty much.
I owe everyone a Captain Marvel review. I was so exhausted. I wanted to start it last night, but since we were up late streaming, I was just like, conk.
Try. You know what I did on mine is I just like I was tired that night too. I'm just like I gave my review, the one I gave but shorter, and it did okay. Try that. I don't know. What did you have any news about the Avengers Endgame reshoots? There really isn't any. Tanner Koser, I think they probably had some pickups like normal reshoots. As far as reshooting the end, after seeing that mid-credit scene, I'll absolutely admit to you guys, it deflated me a little bit. I'm like, oh fuck, she's gonna be a big part of this movie.
No,
God damn it.
absolutely, she's going
Because
to be.
before this, I was just under the impression that she would probably be in it for a few minutes. Like that's it. But no, she is a part of this movie. I'm like, oh god.
And I'm curious to see how accurate the Bounding into Comics article was about the leaks.
Those are good guys over there.
I'm a big fan.
Well, how many times have we seen those leaks are total bullshit, and then the movie comes out and those leaks were completely right, and then people just forget about that. Now, some leaks are bullshit, but I got to tell you, I used to be big on the Reddit leaks for Game of Thrones, and they used to be spot on like most of the time.
Well, Making Star Wars was pretty accurate about Force Awakens.
It sure was. You're right. You're right.
I had a friend tell me all about that, and he basically gave me the rundown. I was just like, huh. And when I went to go see it, I was like, wow, it's exactly what he said.
God, that's amazing. We hit 52,000. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for joining the live stream tonight. Yeah, so there's a Doctor Who video, and then there's a Captain Marvel video that I'm done with. It's just going to be out in the morning. And then the live stream on Monday, as usual. Oh, and I've also got to do the Orville and Star Trek Discovery review. So there's like 4 videos coming the next couple days. So.
Oh, damn. Apparently, Pin Farm Girl just told me that I just hit 803.
Nice. She's good for that. All right, everybody. Please go to nerdrotic.com and check out our live stream schedule there. Yes, I'm a Firefly guy. Legats, love it.
Firefly is the shit.
Exozone. Yeah, I think we're doing that tomorrow. DJ Bowman. I think that's tomorrow night.
Tell Duke I said hi. He doesn't call.
I will. He doesn't call you anymore. He doesn't call me anymore. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we got to see how Doomcock is doing. Last time I checked on Twitter, he was really drunk, and he's doing a Captain Marvel review. So that's a day that ends in Y. But yeah, it looks like Exozone is tomorrow. That's what I think. But yeah, so 4 video, man, I'm going to be busy. So I'm going to enjoy my downtime tonight. I should have never taken that day off. But thank you again for past 50,000 subscribers. Thanks to Dave Cullen for shouting us out.
Oh,
everybody.
Please. Yes. Thanks, Dave. That was awesome.
Despite Captain Marvel, it's actually been a pretty fun week. Like I predicted in my Access video, we had a great week of videos. Like some all-time videos came out this week from some of our favorite YouTubers. So props to them. Mm-hmm. Props to world-class bullshitters and geeks and gamers and that Star Wars girl and EVS and fucking everybody for making great. Dave Cullen did one today.
Yep, that was awesome.
And yeah, so good night, everybody. Say good night, Comics Division.
Good night, everybody.
May the small folks sing songs of your greatness.